I'm gonna do this shit.
You ain't got to record the the audio. Well,
I ain't gotta record the audio.
No, I was saying you ain't got. I was gonna say you ain't got to record the video.
Oh, like shit. Yeah, I'm just be on here.
Say just record your audio just to be safe, just to make sure. Once we see how this shit turn out, how long this shit go, and everything, how this shit works.
I'm being a company looking dumb time. Like, yeah, look at this shit. Like, yeah, this shit funny. Ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it. I'm trying to set it up right.
You talking about his identity? He wanted his identity hidden.
Said what?
You already caught it. You wild, man.
There's no way I can do this, man.
You don't got a light in there?
Nah, I mean, yeah, I got a light, but how I'm gonna set my shit up? Because I got the headphones and plugged in, so I got, or I could just do this.
You could turn it on the side.
Shit is fucking trifling. Oh, I can turn it on the side.
Yeah. Just turn it. I think you gotta take the screen lock off. I'm not sure.
I got it. Let's turn it to the side. I'm trying. How do I want it to be set up? Like what the fuck? All right, you see me?
I see what you're saying. Oh,
all right,
for the
look,
audio,
boom.
yeah, you right. This nigga, bro.
And then I gotta. Yeah, ha ha ha. But you ain't gonna see me while I'm talking. I gotta do like that. Talking to Mike.
As long as
I turn the mic up.
You don't need. I would say, don't record the audio. If the shit fucked up, we could just record it again. But
don't record the audio.
I would say just you already talking in that mic.
All right. So yeah. So
I'm recording it.
All right. So I'm about to do this. FaceTime shit.
Do like how the audio sound though? It might still sound better.
Yeah. Then you gotta sync it and all that. That shit gonna be weird. All right, I'm ready.
You fucking recording. I'm eating bacon.
Yeah, we already recording, so like it's so yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That shit hard.
Like shit.
No wonder Zoom was like the craze and shit.
Nah, facts. Especially for the beginning of the pandemic shit.
But it had way more issues back then. It was fucking up way more.
What was it like? It was new or some shit?
Yeah, it was like the crystal clear shit like that I'm seeing right now. Well, that's another thing too. It'd be people phone be niggas be having a whole Go phone from AT&T little gas station phone and shit.
Uh-huh.
Trying to Zoom with you. I'm like, bro, I think
I think we having an Obama phone trying to
like, bro, no, I ain't doing all that.
So yeah, they got them jitterbugs popping.
Then it'd be like too many people on it sometimes.
Uh-huh.
And then the shit don't be working right when too many people. I don't like shit like that. It's like I get on the app when the shit work right. Like Meet Me don't be working right. That shit still be tripping, bro.
It says still be tripping how?
That should be glitching like shit. That shit laggy.
Man, you get to see my man. I get to see this all this shit right
here. What is this?
This fucking headphone box speaker, my bed, my retainer, my headphones, my pillow.
I'm just on the fucking couch.
Thanks. They be saying I'm in jail and shit.
They say what?
So they be asking me if I'm in jail. I'm like, yeah, when nigga, you know, in jail in a one-man cell by himself.
Well, Instagram every day.
Exactly. Like, what? You know, And I'm on
You
now.
be
It's
loud as
like
shit.
on Meet Me. Like when I be on Meet
Making
Me, they be
music. No,
like,
you making music in jail though. Like this nigga recorded a whole
oh
album.
yeah, niggas can make music in jail, boy. That'd be fucking lit.
I think niggas still figure it out sometimes. You gotta have bad connection.
No, like shit, and then they gonna be geeking to play everybody their music, and then the CEO's gonna be like, "How the fuck you do that? You got a phone in here?" Like,
Nah, niggas just gonna be on their phone and they gonna see this nigga like, hold on, this nigga just recorded this? Posted 2 minutes ago. What?
But that's the thing, though. That's the you ever seen?
They just put that nigga in his cell.
You ever seen Hustle and Flow? When Terrence Howard was in jail, they had snuck the record. Yeah. No, that was actually Empire. On Empire, Terrence Howard went to jail, and then like he had like snuck in the little room to record a song, and he made a hit in the little jail. It's like a fake ass.
What is the song from Hustle and Flow?
Well, hard out here for a pimp.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp.
Niggas was really bumping that album like he was a real rapper. Like I remember niggas had the CD and they was playing that shit in the car like it was a real rap song. Like,
wow. Baby, water please.
Water please.
Water please.
Nah, for real, bro. That was the days, the good old days. So, you know, that's when I was younger shit.
I was thinking back to when I could do mad shit because I was comfortable. I didn't have to pay for that.
Nah, for real. I mean, paying rent and bills and shit, that shit cool. That shit cool. I ain't got a problem with that.
You ain't working for it every fucking day.
But I have done it though. Yeah. Being in that hospital.
That shit still, but like either way, it's like money is a scam. We already know this, like, because you can always have more than you can.
Facts.
And the whole point of having more is to spend more. Like, what's the fucking,
exactly.
That's a scam like shit. So.
Exactly.
It's like I'm cool without it, but then I'm cool with it at the same time.
I was just like, I had money and shit, and I was paying my little rent and shit. And I was like getting my food. I was paying phone bill. I had my phone. I was paying my phone bill and all that.
Yeah.
And that shit was just like, it wasn't really different from what now. I feel like I live better now. Like I'm doing the same shit. It's what I gotta do. I gotta pay my rent. I gotta pay my phone bill if I want a phone and all that. The whole thing. Yeah. But that's my whole thing. Y'all motherfuckers be acting like girls care about how much money a nigga got, but the girls don't give a fuck about that shit, bro. Like I had all the money that a nigga could really have for real.
I was about to say I ain't never been rich, and I know, but I haven't had a lot of money.
Exactly, you feel what I'm saying? It's a lot of
that I
niggas
technically
like
wasn't supposed to have because I wasn't rich.
Exactly. But I seen that, but I remember when we say it was me and my man G, and it was some other niggas too. I think Relly was there. And then we saw a girl. We saw a girl with a nigga in a wheelchair, and then this nigga G gonna say, "Yeah, he must have got money." Like,
niggas are ignorant though. Niggas think like women sometimes in that way.
Facts. And I was like, nigga,
it don't gotta be money, and that's the thing too. Like, what is money? Because if a nigga don't have expenses, he technically got money. Like a lot of niggas could have money if they didn't have as many expenses as they get.
And you could choose
sometimes a nigga could just be making the same shit you making. He just don't have expenses. He really down to earth. He don't give a shit about that. He got death to him. People like lack death these days. So it's like when they see shit, they assume there's no death there too. It's like real recognize real, you know.
Motherfuckers want to act like the real world don't go on, like shit don't happen, like damn, like a nigga's shirt don't get dirty. Like at some point, like they just be clean all the time. Like
I hated that shit, bro. Like in school, bro. Motherfuckers try to play you like you a kid or something. Like, bro, we are in school, bro. Why is y'all niggas trying to be clean? Like, why? What's the like? My whole thing was like not even like be dirty, but I'm saying like your whole goal in wearing clothes is to like wash clean clothes. Like, I'm so confused. Like what you wearing them for if you just don't want to mess them up? Like, niggas didn't want to crease their shoes. Niggas didn't want to like what? Why are you wearing like this? Is like I'm like, bro, shoes are just supposed to protect your feet from the ground. Like, what is going on?
Exactly. It's not a fashion show. Like,
oh man,
it's not a fucking fashion show. And it's
fashion
like,
show is cool though.
But you said fashion show is cool.
Yeah.
I
don't think about the competition part of it. I just be thinking about seeing cool shit. But competition is kind of what drives some people's creativity. Some people wouldn't even create that wild shit if it wasn't like they had to make the best joint. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Speaking of fashion, it's like, yo, I know I keep bringing the show up, but I was watching the show, and Shawty is talking about some, this is Chanel on my wrist, and this is
what show you talking about?
Real Husbands.
Oh,
yeah. So I keep talking about the show. Well, like she was talking about this Cartier on her wrist and all this, and she got Prada on and all that. Like, you didn't say anything. Like you flaunted somebody else's creation. It would be hard if you said, yeah, I made this. I made this. I created this watch.
Did not spend what they charging you on that, making that shit.
Facts.
And you out here like spending all you got sometimes.
For this shit, you could have put that amount of money into making your own shit.
Yeah. And that's another motherfucking markup.
Exactly. And it's like it would have been harder if you was Margiela, you was Mason Margiela, and like let's say like Mason Margiela was unknown, well not unknown, he would be known. Let's say Mason Margiela, like, yeah, I'm rocking my latest thing that everybody fucking with, everybody copying it. Then that's a flex. That's a real flex. Cause it's like, damn, he just created this jacket and everybody liked the jacket, and everybody buying it and they wearing it. That's a flex, but not, I am not Mason Margiela, but I'm rocking Mason Margiela stuff. Like, that's weird. Like, I don't like this. I'm rocking Versace. Like, I'm not Versace.
You think in the future, because this would be a cool world for me, in the future where everybody kind of just designs their own clothes.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Damn near everybody, that was a thing, kind of like how farming used to be a thing everybody did for themselves. Like, we all make our own clothes too. Like, we go get the material, we trade materials with each other, we collaborate in that way. You know what I mean? But this whole idea of having the majority of people wearing the same things is a control thing. It's a real estate thing. It's a classism, and it's oppression. It's just a way to. It's always about like getting somebody to give you control instead of fighting and forcing them to go under your will. You kind of make them feel like it's their idea. And then they end up, carrying out your plan. Like, these motherfuckers, bro. Think about this. Like, lawyers, bro. Like, they get bread and then they get to like when people die and they don't have insurance and shit, these niggas get to like spend money that ain't theirs. Like, they get to take niggas shit that is dead. They keep the family in court arguing about who get what. So that shit takes so long that nobody in the family end up getting shit, and they just go straight to the lawyers. And these lawyers, they passing down other people's property that are just random people they worked for that was dead, and the family couldn't come to terms, but they had this whole estate. Like, here, son, that's yours. Give this one to your son. Like, that's wrong.
Nice shit.
And that's like, I ain't even really mad at the shit. that's balling. That's business. Like if you don't do the business, like hey,
Facts.
you can always do the business while you alive. And this is a conversation niggas just don't want to have. Niggas just don't want to talk about shit, real shit. Like niggas avoid shit
But
until
niggas
it's too
want to talk
late.
about fucking what ifs and hypotheticals and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
or they want to spend their money on Louis right now when you could have bought a life
exactly.
insurance policy on yourself, so that way when you die, somebody could get rich.
Not for real.
Here you go.
Right? You want to know what's so funny? I literally did that in my head. Like I literally
I
like did
know.
like this.
I did it for you.
Like shit. But like, nah, that's life insurance policy shit. I be feeling like, yeah, motherfuckers just be faking they death for that shit. They get old as
Business.
shit. They like,
If
yeah,
they ain't
man, of
fix
course.
if they ain't fucking fix the system, if it ain't broke, hey, don't fix it. Sometimes the system's supposed to be broken in ways.
Right. Nah, for real. The system ain't perfect.
Yeah.
Ain't no system perfect. It's nooks and crannies
Yeah,
and
it's
everything.
just this system is corrupt, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not perfect. No system is perfect, but corruption is like self-destructive. It's like the system trying to take everything down with it. It's like if your body, like I said, like when your body get hijacked and like overridden by a parasite that kind of takes control of it and makes you kind of self-destruct. That's a different thing than when it's just like, things going wrong. You swallowed wrong real quick, or
Yeah.
imperfections that just like that's just the process.
No facts. The
Damn,
hypothetical
bro.
shit. Like I just was talking to a girl. She talking about something what y'all going to do if we go to war with Russia and it's a war. Like, why do y'all keep talking like, bro? It's not going to be no World War III. Like, that's not happening, bro. And then she got mad because I said that it's not happening.
There
She's
is a
talking about
war going on right now, but it's a
what
technological digital war that
facts. Yeah,
nobody's
you on
really
point.
taking serious. They already started the war, and it's winning
It's
on
that the war
motherfuckers
is
like her.
exactly. That's the yo.
She a motherfucking casualty already.
But she a girl, so like it's like yo, I just
Yeah.
laughed it out like yo, I'm not arguing with no girl about this shit, bro. I'm tired of
Yeah,
arguing
that's
with
why
girls about politics.
really on
Like,
men to lead these women, bro.
but they don't want to be led.
It's on us to lead these women in the right direction because they still gonna be our Achilles heel at the end of the day.
They don't want to be led. They want to be the leaders and claim they want to be the
you can
leaders.
still lead around that. You can still lead. You can,
Yeah,
like I
by
told
doing
you,
what the fuck by leading.
Read the 48 Laws of Power. It'll tell you how to mislead somebody into leading them in the right ways. Like I just said about letting people think it's their idea. If that's what you got to do.
I'm crying. I mean, shit. I'm just like, bro, fuck that shit. I'm
For
gonna
some
lead
niggas,
how I
that's a lot
lead,
of
and if
work.
you
For
want
some
to
niggas, that
follow,
shit come easy. You say
follow.
what? Say what
I
you
said
said
I'm gonna
again.
lead. I said I'm gonna lead how I lead, and if you want to follow. That's what I know about life. Everybody, whatever time that I'm on right now, and what I'm saying right now, niggas gonna be saying this shit like 5 years from now. So it's like, yo, y'all gonna understand. So y'all gonna get to this level at some point, because that's how it always go. Like I say this shit all the time, bro. I was one of the first people on my fucking spiritual shit, on my meditation third eye shit, when nobody was doing that shit.
Right.
Now everybody want to be on, act like they still don't even understand what the third eye is. Want to be on a spiritual third eye shit. Like, no, bro, you're late to the party, and you're not even knowing what the party is.
We was on it for different reasons.
Uh-huh.
We was on shit for more genuine reasons than
Facts.
Clickbait, trendy. You know what I mean?
Like, I wasn't even watching YouTube videos on it. Like, I was really about that meditation life and spiritual healing life. Like, I was really doing shit.
Yeah, I was a crystal ass nigga.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
I still got crystals right here.
Like, shit. That shit fire. Not they fail.
Yeah, I got the little marble. Well, I just like aesthetically. I've always gravitated to Buddhist imagery and stuff, even aesthetically, before I knew why I liked it and what it was. I was always attracted to that type of shit.
Not facts. I feel you. But my ass was trying to have lucid dreams. I remember I had my phase where I was trying to have lucid dreams.
You ain't never lucid dream before?
No, I did. I lucid
I
dreamed
have that shit
plenty of
scary as fuck when
times.
you don't know what it is.
Like, and then I hate
Bro,
when
that shit
motherfuckers
happened to
talk
me while
about
I was
sleep
locked up too.
paralysis. I hate when motherfuckers talk about sleep paralysis and don't know about lucid dreaming for real. I ain't never had a lucid dream. Like,
Yeah.
niggas be like, yo, it's so scary. And like,
It took me time to get through the paralysis part of it to where I could do
facts.
shit.
Uh,
But Dale got a crazy story. He said it on the pod. That's why I be wanting you to hear that shit, bro. This episode already out. I think it's on forgot the name of the damn episode, Jay.
I'm also on Spotify. I got it on my notifications. So
I'm on here now. But it's an episode. He said he basically, yeah, he told me this story before though. But he lucid dreamt when he was a kid, and he could see his body and everything. But he was telling a story about this dude named Ed Morrell, and this nigga he was being tortured, right? And this is around when they used to have they was like, this is back when we used to build and use torture like devices and shit. And it was this device called the bloody straitjacket. It's like basically like squeezing the life out of you for a long, like, you know what I mean? Like squeezing the shit out of you, right? This nigga knew how to lucid dream, bro, and he was traveling the world the whole time. And every time they took him out that joint, he was fine. Like he was just refreshed, like he had just took a nap. And they
crazy.
was like, yeah, bro. And then they was asking this nigga how he kept surviving this shit. Nobody ever survived that shit, bro. He said every time he would go, and he wasn't even trying to lucid dream. He would just, the pain would be so excruciating that he would just go out of his mind, bro. And he just will just leave his body, bro. And like that nigga was like describing shit all the way overseas, over places he ain't never been. But it's like, how could you have went to there that quick? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know that? Like,
yeah,
that's the crazy shit. It's like shit like that. It's like when I look back, I was like, damn, if I wasn't so scared, I could have went to the kitchen real quick.
facts.
I could have floated to the kitchen and shit.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I was like, yo, bro. I was asking Dale, man, shit. Yeah, God versus aliens. That's the episode. That's episode 46. That shit get real, bro. Because that's when we was at the campfire, and he was talking about that shit. It was wild, bro. Like we was. That's why I'm like, we gotta get, all three of us gotta get together. He said he willing to do the campfire pods and shit with us too. So
like shit.
we gonna do that shit. We gonna go camping, bro. We gotta do it like a 2-day thing or a 3-day thing. Just stay out there and just fucking chill. But that shit gonna be fucking lit, dog. Cause we gonna have such real. I love being so far away from the world, like so out of the way of civilization. Like I just feel free. Like this is where I'm supposed to be at.
This is nature. I love nature, bro. Like I said,
nature don't even fuck with you. Like nature do not mess with you, bro. Nature just be doing what it do every day. Same shit, eating and living.
Facts.
It don't even be really messing with you. Like I hate when people tell me they don't want to go outside because of nature. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Who ever said that? Like,
it's usually girls or like dudes who just don't like, they are super technological, like materialistic people who don't see any value in being outside.
You know, like I like the woods. I like being deep in the woods at nighttime and shit. I like shit like that.
Yeah, that used to be me, man. That's why I was kind of mad too. We ain't lived too close together because we would have been outside every day, bro. I used to be that dude, bro. Yep.
No, me and my friends, we used to go in the woods and shit. That's why I fuck with that shit. That was like some safe shit. That was just like, yo, we going
then
to
I remember
woods.
We used to skip school out there too.
Everybody.
Skip school when I first started smoking weed. We started smoking in the woods. We would just go deep. And my man, he would be able to see his house. And his dad had a good ass job, so he could sometimes he just leave his job early and just come home. And like he'd be like, oh shit, my dad home early. So this nigga would just be out there in the woods with us. We made a camp. site and everything. We took a propane tank with a grill out there. We was wilding, bro, skipping school. Like, we was doing too much, bro. In the
Crazy.
fucking woods. That was back when we used to smoke like once a month, and that was enough. Like, we was like, yo, we don't need to do this every day. Like, we was real sacred. Like, we was like, bro, we don't want to do this every day, bro. It's just gonna mess it up. Like, it's not gonna be fun no more.
That was on point.
That was back then, bro. And we had self control. We was young guys, bro. I just wish we had somebody really genuine around that was gonna keep us on our God shit. Because I'm not saying it's a problem now, but it's like I know some niggas who gave up on that shit who was way more woke when they was younger, and now it's like they don't give a fuck no more.
But them bills and real life got to their head.
I was about to say they rather just go to work and focus on real.
Like shit. No, that's
tragic.
tragic.
What you think about that though?
I don't know, man. Because like I said,
what kept you from doing that?
Me being able to do what I'm doing now, pay my rent without working. I told my friend this. I said I gotta keep remembering that, like, I'm like the only nigga that I know that's in this like situation that I'm in, that where I could just wake up and do whatever I want to and go like and not work and be able to pay my rent and eat. It's like I'm already up. That's why I'm used to this shit. I can focus on myself because I don't have to worry about nothing else. Like getting up in the morning, going to work, doing a whole bunch of shit.
But at the same time too, that shit for me, that shit lit, bro. I love this shit.
Facts.
Because it's not
that
like,
shit lit too.
Yeah, but I was about to say it's not like I said, I just know how to use everything for what I'm trying to do with my life. I know how to apply this to what I want to do because I do want to be able to get up early because one day I'm gonna be getting up early for my shit.
Facts.
And then it's gonna be I'm getting up early so I don't have to one day. And I'm also one of them dudes who you can't finesse. Like I see a lot of people sometimes they talk about, yeah, when I came here, I was just your age. And I'm like, oh, you 70 now. You trying to tell me I'm gonna be here forever? I will never be like you. I will never be here. I will never be coming to the same place for 70, for 50 years, 30 years. No,
that's just sad, bro. It's like, what did you do your whole life? You could have been something.
You worked for somebody else's shit. And then they still try like treat you how they treat me. And I'm new.
Yeah. But this the whole thing. I know they had parents. They back in them days, it's like if you was talking about doing something other than working for somebody, then you was crazy. Like, nah, you're not doing that. You're gonna go get a job. Yeah, you're gonna go get a job. And you're gonna go to college, and you're gonna do this and do that. Like now, it's like it's more free because like niggas, it's really easy to get your goals accomplished and really make that bag off of this shit. But like back in them days, like the 60s, 70s, and so on, like parents wasn't trying to hear that shit.
Nope.
You want to be a rapper? Like, no, what? You got to go to school and get your fucking diploma, and you gonna go get your degree. Like,
my parents used to be like, you can't live in this house if you're not at school or you're working. You have to be in school or working, and you're not living here for free. Like, we're not doing it.
Like shit. It's like, and like when I think of my situation, I'm just like, I'll be like, I can't complain about shit, bro. I'm too fortunate, bro. Like that I could just do what I fucking want.
What we gonna go about with his name for this?
You hear me? Oh, he about to join?
Yeah, Arthur Anderson is what we gonna call him. Just call him Arthur. This nigga not trying to be on camera, so it's kind of funny. Let me see. Can you hear us? Oh, it's connecting. I could kind of hide my video participants first.
Like shit.
That's lit, right?
Oh, you said you could do what?
I just hid him since he's not gonna be on the video.
Yeah.
But we'll hear him.
Oh, that's lit.
Yeah. I ain't wanted to just be sitting up there like.
Not for real.
What is he doing, bro?
Look.
You hear us?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Yes, sir. You're there. You're there. We hear you.
Okay. Does my volume sound good?
You could be a little louder, but
Well, I gotta be honest. I think I got.
I don't want you to. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not gonna tell you to be loud. I'm saying I think I can just turn up whatever I can turn up on my end. But you good?
Yeah. Okay.
NASCAR, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. This is NASCAR P, rapper, producer, friend. I told you about. He dropped me. This is the guy, Brandon, who dropped me off at your crib with all.
Oh yeah.
All my
What's
shit.
good, man?
I moved in with you at your mom's place for the first time.
What's good, NASCAR P, man? Hey, man, much love, man. I appreciate you looking out for my brother, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course, man. You too, man.
Nigga came through at the perfect time.
Man, hey, that was a crazy day, man. We
Both of y'all did though.
We didn't have a plan for that day, but man, you were there though.
I'm trying to think. You talking about
remember that, bro?
You talking about
when I brought all my shit in that first day, he drove
like
that
his
van
life.
with all
you kept his life safe.
He came. Y'all came to my house.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that day. Of course, that's the day I'm thinking about. I'm trying. Yeah. And he had the van.
Yeah. That's the yeah. We like he said we ain't had no fucking plan. We didn't know what the fuck. It just happened. Like I just had to go.
Like shit.
Man.
I was just like, bro.
I'll take out whatever I gotta take out in the edit. So don't worry too hard. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I would rather you to talk around, you know what I mean? I'd rather you just talk freely and then I just edit whatever out.
I got you.
You barely mentioned you barely mentioned that what you told me you ain't want in there. But I did take what you did say out, and it sounds smooth because like I said, I can make it sound smooth in the post. I don't need you to try
I appreciate you asking. So in general, so you could take this part out, in general, we could talk more privately, but something that I'm trying to build right now, in general, are like different kind of resources and programs outside the traditional system.
But that's why, but look, before you even get all of, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying now, because I want you to kind of reintroduce yourself to the pod and NASCAR, since we all three haven't ever spoken.
Okay, gotcha.
So like we recorded our thing and we talked about it all kind of in detail, and even that was a lot because we both know what we talking about. Everybody else doesn't know what that entails. So it's like, if you have an opportunity to talk all here, and it's like you ain't really been through the system like that for real, have you, NASCAR?
Not
like foster care, none of that bullshit.
Yeah,
but NASCAR though, I mean, any of your loved ones, friends, do you know anybody that went through the system that you were affected, like maybe directly or indirectly by?
Ronnie, like that's it.
we know, I didn't Ronnie.
Yeah. That's it.
Hey man, it's a fucked up system, man. It's a net, it's a trap.
That shit,
man, some folks get trapped in this shit, and man, it could be generations of family trapped in that shit.
Drugs, the drug pharmaceutical companies, it's all a part of it. All a part of it.
Like, that shit is fucking weird, man.
And it's a big business.
We're going to lead into a really good topic. I want to talk about sleep studies and Adderall. We're going to segue into a really good topic. But Rondo, I'm gonna follow your lead. One thing I was fucking up on the other podcast. I was using.
You was not fucking up, man. You wasn't fucking up.
No. My flow was good, but I was accidentally using my name when I prefer to use my podcast name. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna reintroduce myself. Hello, everybody. My name is Arthur Anderson. Just a quick reintroduction. I'm a retired counselor. I've worked 20 years in the social work system as a counselor. I've worked primarily with foster care teens, homeless former foster care teen adults who are homeless. I've also worked with asylum seekers, primarily victims of trafficking, really escaping really terrible situations from different countries and really didn't have family protect them. So really kind of under the same situation as foster care. But I've worked with folks from pretty much all over the world for 20 years from pretty bad situations. But let me not ramble.
Yeah.
That's my introduction.
High school education, right? No degree.
No degree. So this is a really quick nutshell. It's really funny because we can say I got grandfathered in. When I started working in 2000, 2001, the standards for social work weren't as high. You know, social work has evolved. So like in the 80s and 90s, man, anybody can get into fucking social work. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
as people understand that you have to be more trauma informed, there's a lot more complexities to social work. You know, the standards have gotten higher and changed. But at 21, when I started in 2000, and in 2001, when I started at the agency I was at for almost 20 years, the agency I worked at was a very highly reputable agency. And my position as a counselor at the group home, it's a therapeutic group home. That's a very important thing to define. There are traditional group homes, and this was a therapeutic group home. Therapeutic group homes have a campus with a on-site psychiatrist. It's not there 24 hours, but the psychiatrist is there for certain days for psychiatry appointments. And there's on-site therapists every day.
What's a psychiatrist? Just to be clear, because I don't know if everybody really know what the jobs are.
That's a really good question, because a psychiatrist for mental health has probably the most difficult job that anybody could have. You know, a psychiatrist is a doctor. To be a psychiatrist, you have to have a PhD. It's not something you can do with a master's. It's a very serious job, but psychiatrists, pretty much their primary job, and I'm gonna use a really technical term here, but anybody who studies science, this term makes sense. I'm gonna use some analogies that make sense, but the term is titrate. Titrate. I believe is how it's spelled.
Yeah, we spoke about this on the podcast.
Yeah. So titrate. A psychiatrist's job is so basically, if sometimes we're having mental health issues that's not from like trauma or from other issues. It could be chemical imbalances. So bipolar, manic depressive is a form of this. So bipolar, manic depressive, I want to use the term manic depressive to really define what bipolar is, because people use that term to
loosely.
The term I'm looking for is pejoratively.
Like, he was mad and when he was just happy. So he switched up how he felt about something.
Hey, Casper, can I tell you something really pisses me off? Because it really undermines people who actually have, actual serious, manic depressive or bipolar. It's a serious issue. But if somebody's having a bad day,
call people crazy, man.
Yeah. People. So one of your friends having a bad day and they arguing and they're really getting mad and then there's like somebody in the crew just starts a little reputation like, oh, that motherfucker's bipolar. He's bipolar like shit. You can't use that but you can't use that. That's like, it's really fucked up, because here's what bipolar is. You're either producing too much serotonin or not enough. And
what is serotonin?
That's what manic depressive is. I'm not a psychiatrist. I think it's serotonin. Yeah. So serotonin is responsible for what makes you happy.
That and dopamine.
So bipolar, manic depressive is a scientific term for what bipolar is. They're the same thing. So think about what manic depressive is. You're either producing way too much serotonin. So the manic is, I'm going to pretend to be manic right now. So this is how you know somebody's actually bipolar, manic depressive, because if they're just cranky and moody, arguing all the time, but they're never manic, that's not manic. Now, Rondo, you see me get excited and I act a little manic, but no, when somebody's manic.
Oh, I know. I've lived with the people and I've met the girls who are manic.
Somebody, especially on the upper end of bipolar, there's no judgment here. Bipolar 1, bipolar 2. It's
almost like they're not even in the real world. They are floating around.
So if you know somebody's bipolar and they're on the upper end of the extreme, you have to keep them safe, because they will be disassociative. They will pretend. They will be like I'm not joking. These are stories. I've worked with people with manic depressive. Married guy, he is heterosexual. Been heterosexual his whole life, but became bipolar untreated, and he had a cocaine problem too. And no bullshit, this motherfucker started sucking the dick for coke, and he got divorced. Like his wife found out. and like, but the crazy thing is,
I'm sorry to laugh.
Really, but Ronnie, the dude really is heterosexual. He would never cheat on his wife. But when you are manic, you will do crazy things you would never normally do. You're not rational. You're disassociative. It's almost like you are absolutely a completely different person. So people can do gay shit when they're manic, but they're really not gay.
Mm-hmm.
When they're not manic, if they were not manic, and you're like, hey man, would you suck that dude's dick for like $1 million? They're, man, fuck no. The fuck you talking about, motherfucker?
So you trying to say you're not manic enough to suck no dick, but you're a little
Ronnie. If you ask a grown ass man who's not gay, hey, would you suck a dude's dick for $1 million? You'd be like, man, fuck no. I'll punch you in the face for saying that shit, right? If that same dude has a manic episode, he's manic, and he wants some coke, and you're like, hey man, I'll give you a bump coke, you suck my dick. He's gonna go right down, and he's gonna act gay.
Crazy.
It's crazy. No. So people it's not sad because like this is
it's sad. I'm sorry.
The primary medication typically for bipolar is lithium. So let's talk about lithium and how a psychiatrist titrates. You either so you have a level of serotonin producing too much or too little. The psychiatrist. I need to lower my voice because I might be waking my roommate up. But the psychiatrist meets with you and sees how you're displaying. They're trained to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how's your week been? Have you been doing anything like kind of out of the normal? You know, if somebody's made depressive, they know they did something and they're ashamed. They're gonna tell the psychiatrist, like, and they're gonna break down in tears. Man, I can't believe I did this. I've never done this before, but like, I couldn't find my medication, and for 2 days I wanted to vacate. Blah, 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 blah. So when when they go manic, it's usually because they're on a medication. They have a good psychiatrist. Their medication is being titrated. Titrating is the psychiatrist is going to start them on a certain dose and see how their body reacts to it. It takes a certain amount of time. A lot of psychotropic medications usually take up to 2 weeks before you notice or feel any effects. So the psychiatrist is very important. So we keep following the psychiatrist and keep telling them how they feel. Now, the reason why the psychiatrist's job is so difficult is because a lot of people are afraid to be honest with the psychiatrist. Because of stigma.
People right? Played a psychiatrist. Like, I would say one thing?
Yeah, go for it.
I had a doctor, right? A psychiatrist. Okay. And he told me, you know, like we would do our daily, well, not daily, but our weekly like check-ins where he's basically trying to he's titrating, right? He's trying to figure out how much I need.
Yeah, they're asking. So like, here's a titrate question.
Look, I didn't want to take it in the first place. But he told me straight up, he said, if you don't want this medication to work for you, it will not work for you. Because I can actively fight this whole process. And I did it before. I've lied. I've told them I felt better. I told them this was the perfect dosage. I feel great. I'll have a good week. I wouldn't get in trouble in school. And then I would just be like, nah, I don't feel like that no more. Boom. Something happened. And they'd be like, yo, I thought the medication was working. I'm like, it's not. Y'all tripping for even thinking that it's working. I'm playing you back and forth every fucking week.
Rondo. So here's the thing. Psychiatrists are good
trying to get out of that.
They're
shit,
smart. But let's talk about data and statistics. I'm gonna tell you straight the fuck up. In 15 years working my therapy group, I had great relationships with all my clients. And if they really were bipolar or schizophrenic, I was really encouraging them to follow their psychiatrist and be honest. So that was an important thing for me. When I meet with them, I would teach them what titrating is. Because when I know they're not honest and I know that like they're dysregulated, I'm by the side, no judgment. I'm like, hey man, look, I don't know what you and your psychiatrists talk about, but look, man, we counselors, we can't force clients to take medication. When clients meet with the psychiatrist, they can lie. We're not in that appointment. That's when the psychiatrist means it won't work for you if you don't do it. So what that means is— What do you think
about medication, Nessa?
I feel like that shit bullshit.
It's a very complicated conversation, guys. So there are some folks that are legitimately manic depressive. I've worked with them, and they actually do want to be on the right medication. They're honest, and I've worked with clients that are honest with the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist can titrate properly, and these are clients that are highly intelligent. They graduate high school, have great jobs, might get married and have kids. I know these folks. And they don't have shame or fear that they are bipolar. they accept it, embrace it, and they trust their psychiatrist and they're honest with them, and they take the medication as consistently as they can. It's very hard to take it very consistently. You can slip a little bit here and there, but for the most part, the clients I know who are actually bipolar or who are actually schizophrenic, I'm gonna tell you 99% of schizophrenics I work with who are schizophrenic, they are honest with their psychiatrist and they want to find the right medication. Trust me. Schizophrenia is a very scary, scary thing. So there's a lot of different medications.
Can I say one thing?
Go for it.
For a second?
Go for it.
You got to break down exactly what a chemical imbalance is, because when people think you need medication, they think that it's like a sedation thing. They don't understand that there is a thing called a chemical imbalance where you could have.
Now you might have some audience members fact checking me because
at a certain point, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
if you have that imbalance, you can use something to supplement, like taking a vitamin, basically.
I want to give this disclaimer. I have a high school diploma. I don't have a college degree. There might be some audience who are really smart. Fact check. I might misstate a few things, but I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. But to answer your question, let me explain just a little more about titrate. I'm gonna give an analogy for everybody that's gonna make sense about how psychiatry should work. All right, so everybody's been swimming in the pool before, right?
Yeah.
A public pool.
Uh-huh.
These are stupid rhetorical questions. So
no, not stupid.
No, y'all not stupid, but the questions I'm asking are rhetorical. They're just stupid. We all been in the pool in some time, right?
Hey, but you said you don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Very true. Now everybody.
But somebody listening in one of them countries where they ain't
had no pool.
Let me cut to the chase. Has everybody been in a pool when there's too much chlorine in the water? You jump in that motherfucker, your eyes are like, motherfucker. Your eyes are burning like shit, right?
Yeah. When you open your eyes underwater.
Yeah, so what do? We go to lifeguard and we're like, hey, lifeguard, man, that water's burning my fucking eyes. What does the lifeguard do? They go to that fucking hut that's locked that has the chemicals. They have that stick. That stick is a litmus strip. A litmus strip.
That's what you use on a girl pussy to see if she like got to her pH too high.
Well, yeah, there's many forms of litmus strips. A pregnancy test. A pregnancy test is a litmus strip.
Yeah, pregnancy test too.
An instant drug test is a litmus strip. It's a strip of paper that has certain things that will only react if only certain chemicals or certain things interact with it. So
what's the litmus for human beings?
Let's not go off on a tangent here. Let me explain about the analogy and finish about the pool. So do we lie when we jump in the pool and that motherfucker's burning our eyes like shit? Do we lie and tell the lifeguards, hey guys, you're rubbing your eyes. Are you okay? Do we lie and be like, oh yeah, this water's great? No. We tell the truth. We tell the truth, lifeguard. Hey, yo, what the fuck y'all doing in this pool, man? This motherfucker's killing me, right? Nice. We tell the truth. Now the lifeguard knows what to do. He takes his litmus strip. He tests the pH of the water. And the pH, the litmus strip will tell you exactly what the pH is. And you'll see, whoa, it's too acidic. So he has to add some alkali, something chemical, to balance the pH. You'll put just something in the pool, some chemicals. It won't take long to circulate. And then like 2 minutes later, everyone's like, wow, all of a sudden the water feels great.
Yeah.
So this is the definition of equilibrium. That is the psychiatrist's goal. Everybody can be powerful and live happy in an equilibrium with their body. If you don't fight your psychiatrist, if you actually do have a mental health diagnosis. We're not talking about Rondo. We're not talking about how you almost got trapped from a psychiatrist that was really tired and did a cookie cutter assessment because that's what the fuck
I done dealt with the I done been kind of jaded because I dealt with the people who really was. I've dealt with private. Like my mom has taken me before all of that. She has taken me to private psychiatrists, and a lot of
Rondo,
you got to watch out for these private practices because some people be in it just for the money, bro.
Brother, like, you know your problem is, I'm sorry, I'm just not denigrating you. You have a very high IQ, and you do what I do. You can talk to a grown ass motherfucker who's a doctor and cut his balls off. You know what I'm saying?
You too though, NASCAR. He told it. He said, "I'm a bubble burster. I'm a bubble."
Hey, Rondo.
A bubble burster? Nah,
Rondo, you take. Hey, Rondo. Ever since I knew you, you take adults' power all the time, and you're like, "What the fuck you gonna do about it?" Now, I'm not saying you're a bad person, Rondo. The power you take are from bad adults who try to take your power.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm
Now,
saying?
and I don't even sometimes I don't even just dead them. I'm always trying to teach them how to
Yeah.
come correct because
That's what I'm saying. You're not a bad person
sometimes
because
they be
you always
off
take the
and
higher
they
path
but
first.
they mean well. Sometimes they mean well. And it's like they just don't know what the fuck they doing. And I'm like, bro, you
Facts.
don't have to manipulate people. You actually
Yeah.
turning them away from whatever you're trying to show them if you keep trying to manipulate them into believing that shit. You gotta
Facts.
talk to me straight. Be honest. And like I felt like no adult would just be straightforward with me. Everybody was like trying to trick me into doing the right thing. And it made it seem like
Absolutely.
that wasn't the
Yeah.
right thing if you keep trying to finesse me.
Insecure adults, especially adults in power,
Yeah.
they don't want to admit that the young youth is smarter and more powerful than them. They'll never
That's a
admit
Right.
it.
fact.
They just stick to tradition. They just
Yeah.
so hell
Stick
bent
to
on
tradition.
tradition.
Yep.
That's a
Yeah.
fact.
That shit don't
You
work.
want it. So we just kind of broke down what like titrating means, okay?
Yeah.
And
Just good and bad titrators.
yeah, but like honestly, I would say the majority of anybody that goes through psychiatry for the very first time,
Right.
I would say the majority of people, I'm just gonna put a number on it. I can't stamp it, but I'm gonna say 2 out of 3 lie like shit to the psychiatrist and don't know they're fucking themselves up. Now let's talk about
That go with everybody in the world. Like everybody be lying to everybody and thinking that shit gonna help something. It's not. Like you making it worse. Like
You're gonna have to deal with it at some point, and you're gonna have to deal with the lies too. All the misleading that you built, then you'll have to try to regain trust with a lot of shit and a lot of people. Like when you lie to yourself, bro,
I say, especially
gain
self
trust with
deception.
yourself again. Like
So
Right.
one of my favorite,
never,
yep. Rondo, I'm gonna just try to reply to that. You know, one of my favorite mantras and one of the lines from Bob Marley, Redemption song. You know this line, Rondo. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
from mental slavery.
None.
Not for real.
Well, I'm gonna switch the line. I'm gonna say it one more time. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If
Not
we
for
have
real.
mental health issues, we hold the key to our own prison. We all have to acknowledge that.
I tell people that all the
It's
time.
empowering.
Bro.
It's empowering.
That's the thing too about responsibility. Responsibility for some people is traumatic if they've never had to deal with it. They've never been confronted with it in a way that they had the tools to know what to do next.
Rondo, one of the scariest things is
that's why
when you
you
have
don't lie to people.
unresolved
If you
trauma, right?
lie, people don't know what to
Unresolved
do.
trauma is scary, right? But here, there's a lot of folks that don't have family, don't have resources, and it's like they wanna face their trauma, but it's scary. Like who's gonna catch you when you fall? Because the first time you face your trauma, you're gonna fall. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first leap a lot of people have got to get through. If you're homeless and you never really dealt with your trauma or your mental health issues.
Is this the segue? What would we get?
I would like to segue to the next layer of we're talking about psychiatry and how psychiatrists have the most difficult job and how a lot of people hold the key to all mental prisons and fuck up in the very get-go of psychiatry when they have a misconception or misperception, maybe a better way, of starting a medication regimen. Here's the biggest mistake, and people have a perception. Psychiatrists explain this shit. People just don't pay attention. Maybe it's an experience of trauma. They might not be like they have television, but a lot of medications take at least 2 weeks, maybe even up to a month before you even feel a damn thing. So a lot of people will just take the medication after a week and then they'll expect like to feel something. And then they'll still be feeling anxiety, depression, blah, blah, blah. And then like,
didn't I just tell you that, NASCAR?
They'll just stop taking it.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, you know what? That motherfucking doctor was lying. But the doctor's not lying. The doctor's telling the truth. You got to be patient. Right. Keep taking the medication as prescribed until you feel a change. You will feel a change eventually.
People don't stick to anything though.
Yeah, there's too much impatience and impulsiveness. So people are, when you start the mental health journey, they're starting the race. It's almost like there might be a finish line. Whether they can see it or not, they just don't believe they can get to it and cross it. So they stop running. But what happens is, it's not like you go backwards.
No child left behind when they started just passing kids on without them actually knowing the work.
You were digging yourself deeper in your own mental prison because you're giving yourself a notion that, hey, everybody told me I should try psychiatry. I finally tried it. It didn't do nothing. Now I just got to go back to doing nothing. And that's not the right mentality.
Oh, for real.
All right. So, all right. Next layer.
Next layer.
Where are we going to?
We were on a good thread about mental health. We were talking the other night about
NASCAR. You said mental health ain't real.
Well, we can pick up the
it's
thread.
Real. It's real, but it's not real. But it's real because the people going through it making it real. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Can you break that down?
So,
can you break that down a little bit?
I said, like me, I don't go through anything that I'm not at war with myself because like you said, you can hold the key to your own. You know what I'm saying, mental prison, right? And I'm just like, yo, everybody just allowing themselves to just be their body to be at war with their mind when they don't even have to be involved in it and enlisted in it in the first place. Because all they got to do is just do what they feel like doing. But sometimes what people feel like doing is what people mix up what they feel like doing with what they think is right to do. And
and people aren't prepared to think for themselves with adversity.
Facts.
A lot of people can say when they're alone and there's no adversity, they can make their mind up about what they want to do until somebody says that, till they get persecuted for thinking that way.
People don't trust themselves. They just don't trust themselves to do the right thing and make the right decisions without having to think about
it. So that's why you say it's not real. You mean?
Yeah, because it's like you could just do what you feel like. You know what's right. Just do it. You don't have to think about doing it. Just do the shit. It ain't you're not going to die. It ain't nothing going to happen to you. Like,
I feel like you guys are talking about something metaphysical here. I think we're talking about our conscience, right? Yeah. Not conscience. You know what I'm saying? CONSCIENCE.
Call it conscience.
Conscience. Yeah, right.
That's a bar because it's con.
So here's a question: Are we born with a conscience?
No.
Right.
You adopt that.
Yeah.
You were taught to have a conscience.
We're taught. Yeah. That I believe you guys are correct. We're taught that, and we can also be taught instead of a conscience, we can be taught to hate, or separate, or divide.
Nice.
Right.
Because here's the thing I've always believed. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my statements are really spiritual in nature because I'm not really religious, but I'm very spiritual. But I really believe the most sacred thing in this world, absolutely, I think a lot of people agree, is the innocence of a child. Now, if we're born in a world, if we are living in a world of sin, we're all sinners. A child has to learn sin. You know what I'm saying? When a baby's born, a baby isn't born with sin.
I'm watching kids learn how to lie before my face, bro.
Would you say,
Rondo? Trying to teach them that they don't have to lie is like such a concept that they can't grasp that as fast as they grasp on misleading people. It's so easy to learn and pick up on just learning how to mislead somebody than going through what you got to go through, telling the truth the whole time. Like, I'm trying to teach a kid that, it's like you watch them become lazy and not really want to, it's so easy to lie. They watch it's like one of the first things kids pick up on, like you're saying, sin wise.
I like to just talk about like
call you Dr. Anderson fucking around. I don't know what to call you, so I'm gonna call you Doc for short. Like,
can't be a doctor with a high school diploma. To be honest with you, I finessed the shit out of my high school because I skipped the shit out of my a couple years. I was pretty good. I was pretty good at forging midslips.
Damn.
So I had a pretty good system. I'm not gonna talk about all my scandalous high school days, but at Blair High School, I went to the old Blair, not the new Blair. Blair Blazers, Call Park all day. So at Blair, the old Blair, these knucklehead administrators, they had a stupid system that it was pretty easy to defeat if you wanted to skip class. You had these midslips, right? They were about like 4-inch by 8-inch, like it had 3 layers with like 3 copies, and it had 7 slots for your 7 periods. All you gotta do is get your first period teacher to sign the first signature, and then each class you just give to the teacher that you missed the day before, and they're just gonna say quick look and they're just gonna sign.
Let's get back to the metaphysics. that we was talking about.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So
You
yeah, my
said,
junior year, by the way, my junior year, I passed it my junior year with 30 or 40 excused absences in all my classes.
God damn.
what the fuck?
Crazy.
Right, though, you can get away with that shit.
You know, I cheated myself in education. I was so smart that I didn't go in my classes, but the day before a test, I would just study for it.
Oh, I was that kid too, though. I never did homework.
Yeah,
never
we
did
talked
none
about
of that
this.
shit, but I always had good
my teachers and my administrators fucking hated me because they couldn't expel me for skip. They couldn't expel me because I had excused absences. So like, how the fuck does this motherfucker have 30, 40 excused absences? How the fuck is they all excused?
But I also used to know how to be there. I knew what day not to skip the test day. I'm about to be there.
My teachers, no one wasn't there. They all thought I was cheating because I just show up on the day of the test and just get an A or B. And like, how the fuck? Nah. Hold on, man. This motherfucker's doing something. Like, your fucking tests are easy. Just study for the day before. Like they make it seem like you gotta. You know what my system was? My friends who were going to classes, I'm like, hey, what does the teacher say is gonna be covered in the test? Like, they said chapter 6, 9, 12, 13. Don't even waste your time with 15 through 20. I'm like, bet, thank you very much. So I just read 16, 19, 18, 20. Don't even waste my time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know exactly what to study. It's fresh in my mind. I take that motherfucking test the day before and bam, I usually get a 90 or above.
Hey, you can be a witness to the fact that I used to pass piss tests while I was smoking weed. You remember that shit?
That's crazy.
Hey, Rondo, you was slick.
I just knew how to do that shit, bro. I was drinking all tea and water, like.
Hey, Rondo, I knew what time was. I wasn't gonna snitch on you. I saw you doing your cleansing.
I knew you had to know back then, bro. That shit is just crazy because he used to come and check, and I just be like, "Yo, I'm smacking," and there's no way for him not to know. Like, I am too high right now. He ain't saying nothing. I'm like, "Yo,
I'll be honest with you. Like, as a counselor, I'm not gonna condone you smoking in your apartment, but a lot
I
of
never
folks,
did that.
A lot of folks self-medicate. Rondo, a lot of folks self-medicate with marijuana. You're not schizophrenic, but I know a lot of schizophrenics I work with that self-medicate with marijuana, and marijuana is a very healthy, effective medication. For
all right, let's get back.
But let's get back to what we were just talking about.
We got to the you said you're not a spiritual person. We were talking about how mental health is like really all in your head. He explained how what he meant by it's not real unless you make it real.
Yeah, okay.
The power you actually have over your mind. You were talking about science.
Yes, and how
you born. Oh man.
Yeah, you born.
It's like you was taught to separate the two, the conscious and I guess your subconscious. Or your intuition, your instincts.
So if you're talking about your now we're talking about our consciousness. That's our we're talking about the astral plane, right? Kind of like the astral plane. So conscience is our ability, kind of pretty much in a nutshell, it's our ability to know what is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
whatever that means, because I don't believe in that no more too.
I'd like to share a story. I can't, it sounds like a dark story, but
I believe in that shit because right or wrong is.
Let's talk about this.
I believe in it, the basics, but I'm talking about as far as like.
Let's talk about human development.
Context,
how our brain develops. What do we need as babies at certain ages? Okay, when we're born, we need to be held when we cry. Okay, we need to be comforted. Now, babies, I don't know if anybody understands or realizes this. Now, we say that they can learn and absorb everything. Their brain's a sponge. They absorb everything, right? But I don't know if anybody really pays attention that babies absorb energy. So if you are good parents, but you got like some friends always arguing like knuckleheads in the background with some bad energy, your baby's gonna feel that and take that in, and that's gonna affect their personality, their demeanor.
Yeah,
they're gonna start crying, and you're gonna think like maybe the baby's just fussing because he's tired, or maybe he's no. He's fussing because that little motherfucker's energy over there ain't mom and dad's energy. He's scared. He's scared. He's feeling like attacked, and he wants mom and dad to pick him up. Mom and dad ain't picking him up. That makes him become unsettled and non-trusting of adults.
Yes.
Not
And
trust
I heard that
others.
babies can also tell who is picking them up and holding them, even with just based on how
Absolutely.
that person is holding them.
Babies feel, absorb energy. It's very
Yeah.
important when you're holding a baby, whenever you're, you know what I'm saying? It's very important. You got to make sure your energy's right. It's not about your words, it's your energy.
We
You're
get
feeling
caught
like,
up in words when we get older, though.
yeah, you know, it's
We
easy.
start
It's easy.
falling for
It's,
that and not listening to the energy no more.
all right, so I'm gonna just role model this, okay? We can be silent, right? Not say anything. If I'm silent in a room, not saying anything, and somebody's in another room, they can't tell if I'm in a bad mood because if I'm not moving, there's no auditory signals for them to get any reason to hear trigger alarm to get an assessment that something's wrong, right?
Mm.
Now, dogs can feel energy, babies can feel energy. Emotional support dogs. I had a pit bull that was my emotional support dog. Man, I swear to God, the Staffordshire Pit. He wasn't trained. I rescued him. He was like a rescue. So he's been like the trauma. I guess he, is sensitive to other people who are experiencing trauma. But this pit bull wasn't like a really playful people person. When I came home from work, this is like in the mid 2000s when I was working at a group home. Some days were really bad days where I was taking on somebody else's energy, like somebody I cared about got hospitalized, and it really upset me. So on days like that, I get home maybe like 1, 2, 3 a.m. because I might have been the one that took him to the hospital. So I'm getting home at 3 a.m. instead of 11:30. The pit bull always greets me warmly when I come to the door, but at 3 a.m. he's tired. He as soon as he greets me, goes right back to the living room, balls up in the corner. I go up to my room. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm silent, but my energy is bad. The dog made me feel good when I came in, so he didn't sense my bad energy. He greeted me, went back to sleep. I'm in my room watching TV. I'm trying to watch something funny to try to get me out of this funk.
Right.
I'm not talking to anybody. My energy is getting lower and lower and badder and badder. And I'm feeling like, man, I'm getting to a point where like this bad energy is building to a crescendo. So I'm not gonna do anything erratic, but it's just getting to like a nervousness of energy. It's getting to a point where like, man, I couldn't let go of what happened to my client. So I swear to God, only on my worst nights, this dog would walk silently up the steps, come up and put his head on my lap and just look up at me. And he'd be like, man, he was just talking about it, man, you'll be all right. And he would sit his head on my lap and look at me until I felt better. It might take like a minute or two. Might take 5. But the moment I felt better, he would just silently walk away, go right back downstairs, and go right back to bed. And he only did that shit on my worst nights. And I wasn't talking. So I told this long story to say that dogs feel energy. We say that when we're scared, they sense hormones, pheromones. Oh, that's bullshit.
What does that got to do with the conscience?
Oh, let me not go for a tangent. The conscience, okay? So,
great story though.
Thank you. So when you're afraid of a dog, now Rondo, think about if you don't know me, and you're walking past me, I tense up and my fist clench because I'm afraid of you, right? You're not a violent person, but what's your initial reaction? Like, whoa, is this
You'll be mad as shit.
No, not necessarily angry, NASCAR P. Your first reaction, if you're not necessarily an angry person, is you're
just confused. You just thrown off.
You're confused, but your first reaction
throw me off.
Your first reaction might be, is this motherfucker gonna try something? Do I need to get ready to square up? Do I need to get ready to act first?
Yeah.
We're a little smarter than dogs. If a dog senses fear and energy, they're thinking, is this motherfucker gonna attack? Is this motherfucker gonna attack me? I need to bare my teeth and growl. So hold on, I need to bare my teeth and growl because they're
the
really
most dangerous animal is a scared one. So that's why they don't trust fear.
The fear feeds the attack. Somebody's afraid of the dog. The dog's not necessarily afraid of you. You give it fear, and then it starts growling because it's afraid of you. When something is afraid of something bigger, what does it do? It tries to make noise. It tries to make itself bigger. The dog's growling isn't going to attack, but that person now tenses up and reacts to that. Now the dog's going to attack.
Exactly.
You gave it the second motion. Is growling. He doesn't want to fight you. He's afraid of you.
Thoughts are like
exactly.
if you calm down and you just act friendly, like you give a frank face, like, yo, what's up, dog? I was just playing. He'll he'll slowly stop growling, and he might like get low, and then he'll hold your hand out, let him sniff it, be calm. Make sure your energy's calm and don't be afraid. Once he sniffs and licks it, start petting his head and start being nice. And that motherfucker will start jumping on you, licking you like you're his fam instead of eating you.
I'll be making fun of dogs. Like when they be trying to bark at me and shit, and I walk by, I just be barking back at them. I bark back like, arr, arr. Yeah, like
all they try to do is intimidate.
Hey, that's natural. You know, those asshole dogs that just be assholes behind
that
chain.
That's why I already know that. That's why I do that.
Hey, that's called those asshole dogs. No, I fuck with them too. And man, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know they can't get you over the fence. Yeah, they try to intimidate you, but you're like, man, fuck you. What you gonna do? You ain't getting over that fence.
Exactly.
So we're not sounding ignorant. There are some ignorant dogs out there. But anyway, back to let's get back to the thread of kind of like I'd like to just talk in general about just stigmas of mental health, stigmas of how people that are natural barriers that prohibit people from getting the help they need. We were on a really good thread about just kind of.
Can I say one thing? Can I ask you one thing?
For it. I'll go for it.
NASCAR did ask me, what does it mean for me to be on
I'm sorry, which
autism spectrum?
NASCAR? I'm sorry, which question did I miss?
I told him that you said I was on. You believe I'm on the spectrum of autism, and he asked me, what does that mean? And I knew how to explain it, but I didn't at the same time, and I kind of wanted to do it on the pod. But from your perspective, what does that mean for you to even, you know? What is the spectrum? Can you hear me? Hello? He probably got his headphones.
He's muted.
He's muted?
Yeah. Or like his mic not on.
Yeah. Ask to unmute.
Well, to stack it up in my residual. Energy. That's how I move. That's why I be shutting my brain. Well, that's why my brain is shut off, because I move off my instinct and feeling and energy. That's more important than what 2 + 2 is.
Hey guys, are you there?
Yeah.
Did you hear what I said?
Did you hear my phone call?
No.
Oh, so I don't know how Zoom works, but I got a phone call.
Muted you.
And I answered it. So what does it do? It automatically mutes me on a Zoom, or how's that work?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
cut your mic off.
Zoom. Yeah, I don't know if I have to cut my mic off or it automatically does it. Was what I was asking.
No, yeah, automatically do it
for you.
All right.
Did you hear the question?
No, I'm sorry. I missed the question because I got a call and I wasn't even trying to answer it.
No, so yeah,
the question was about the spectrum, right?
Yeah. What does that mean for someone to be on the spectrum? Like, what is the spectrum?
There's a lot of terms that sound scary, and you know what? To be transparent, Rondo, I think I'm on the spectrum too. Now the spectrum.
I don't think it's scary. You tell me some shit. I'm thinking of ways to run it up. That's all I'm thinking about.
So let me just share a story really quick.
Trying to come up off my what's supposed to hold me back, quote unquote.
I never went back to a psychiatrist after my psychological assessment when I was 6 years old. But at 6 years old, I mistakenly learned what my IQ
and you got to tell us about when you actually projected stuff.
If you want to hear about this, so we can get to that if we have time for it. But let me talk about my IQ test. So an IQ test, I have a very high IQ, and that's not something I'm proud of. That's not something I'm bragging about. I suffered for it.
Yeah, we both do.
That's usually how I go.
Yeah.
If anybody has a very high IQ, you actually have one, you're not happy about it. You're not bragging. You suffer for it. I would say 90 majority of schizophrenics I work with have a very high IQ. Very high IQ. I've never met a stupid schizophrenic. Now autism. We all know, we all might know something autism. Autism folks, man, they're like superheroes. They can do some crazy shit. You see the movie Rain Man. I work with an autistic client.
Autistic people. And they are very smart.
well, it's not necessarily smart. So basically, their brains are firing. They have a high IQ. They have a very high IQ. I don't know if anybody knows it. Albert Einstein was autistic.
I just
dang, I
admire
ain't know
their capacity for memory. I just love their memory.
They have a higher capacity for memory storage. They can
Yeah.
access parts of the brain that we can't access, and
I'm so jealous.
them accessing different parts of the brain that we can't access makes them do things that we cannot do.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein was thought to have said that some people thought that he astral projected before he discovered general relativity. He was said to have gone on what he called, I don't know, like he called them like day trips with his mind or something like that. Where, he would just be staring off in space for hours. People say he was just like daydreaming, but he said he claimed to be going somewhere.
Okay.
You there?
What the fuck just happened? Oh yeah, again. I plug my phone up.
Do what you gotta do, man. You ain't gotta be on camera like I said.
No, I'm gonna wait till I get to 10.
What you think about this pod?
Perfect. Just chill.
Shit, how much?
That nigga good as shit. Like
I tell you, bro. Must have been podding, bro. That's why me and him we was talking like this every day, bro. Like we used to talk for 5 hours sometimes.
That's crazy.
And it's like I was like, bro, we gotta do a podcast, bro. Like,
we're gonna that nigga's the pod god.
I tell you, he don't even know it.
He should.
He know it now because of me, but that's why I'm so chill because I don't have to be wild like that nigga. Chill.
I feel you.
Me calm down. You know what I mean? It's a good balance.
No, that's a fact. So I like to listen and like I just like listening to what he's saying.
He gonna be more like he gonna be
you
more
guys
consistent.
Yeah.
We talking about you, bro.
Sorry, that's my folks again. Okay, so anyway, so back to the spectrum autism. So basically, if you have a high IQ above a certain threshold, you're probably going to be on the spectrum. The spectrum is IQ above a certain threshold. You're going to be in between somewhere autism, schizophrenia, Asperger's is on the spectrum. These are thought processing disorders, is what they're classified as under. Now we call them disorders.
Is that like why people stutter sometimes?
Yeah.
Because sometimes stuttering can be from anxiety, but at the same time, sometimes it's like your brain
dyslexia right now. Yeah, maybe my PTSD stress from being separated by my career, just other things I'm going through. But man, like lately, man, I'm experiencing dyslexia. I'm stuttering a little bit. I'm getting back to my old self. But anyway, your mind is something that if you take care of and nurture it, you can heal it. And I'm taking the right steps to heal my trauma, and you have to have faith and bravery to find the right supports to heal around your trauma. And when you find the right supports, you will find the answers that you never thought you'd ever find. To
would you ever take medication, Bill?
I have at times. I would like to talk about before we're about to finish the thread on the spectrum, and then we're going to go into sleep study and Adderall. The biggest fucking scam in the fucking world, in the pharmaceutical world. Because Adderall,
shit.
I don't know if anybody knows.
I've never taken it.
I took Adderall twice.
Hey, shots fired to the Big Farm.
Yeah, fuck Big Farm, man. They know what's up. They know they're the
Did you guys know Adderall is synthetic cocaine?
That's crazy.
It's the exact same fucking thing.
That shit kept me up all night, bro. I was mad.
We all know in the 80s we grew up in the crack cocaine epidemic. You know what I'm saying? And big pharmacists are the heroes. They give us doctors and all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, here's a sleep study. If you go to a sleep study, they're gonna diagnose you whatever the diagnosis. They say, hey, you have ADHD, ADD, whatever. Take Adderall. So Adderall is highly
addictive.
Highly addictive.
Wow.
It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to withdraw from. It's almost like trying to withdraw from fucking heroin.
What you saying there, sir?
When you start taking Adderall, okay, you're gonna feel very alert, attentive, feel great.
What do you mean start taking though? What do you mean start taking? You mean like if you do it one time, that's not what you mean, right?
I'm not gonna tell you how people misuse Adderall, because you can misuse Adderall to give it a very straight cocaine effect.
Because I don't have it depends on if you got an addictive personality. Like I don't have like an addictive personality, so like I can't really get addicted.
You're a wise man. You hit the nail on the fucking head.
Yeah.
Psychiatrists who do this sleep study and tell you to take Adderall, they don't give a fuck if you have an addictive personality.
That's crazy.
And when you get on that shit, you're gonna be on that shit the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah, because I took that shit twice, and like I ain't never feel the urge to like want to take it again. I was like, that shit dumb as shit. Like I'm not doing that shit no more.
NASCAR, I got ADHD. I know I always had that shit. Anyway, if anybody's a problem with it, they can kiss my fucking ass. I don't give a fuck if anybody's a problem with ADHD. That's your problem. So everybody's like, oh, deal, you need to take Adderall. Can you try Adderall? Take Adderall. Hey, you fucking idiots in the fucking herd. I'm not in the herd. Okay, I'm my own shepherd. Y'all are stupid, and y'all believe doctors and psychiatrists believe that you have to take Adderall to be normal and be hooked for life. No, you know what I do for my ADHD? I drink a fucking cup of coffee. Caffeine is a stimulant, just like Adderall, but it's not as addictive and doesn't have not nearly as bad side effects as Adderall.
Right.
The side effects of Adderall can be fucking terrible. No, thank you.
Like shit. Yeah, I was up all night. That shit was like
up all night. Yeah. So because I'm a physicist, because I'm a biologist, because I know all these things. Fuck you. You ain't gonna trick me. I know Adderall is synthetic fucking cocaine. I'm not stupid.
But Doc, so I'm trying to figure out why is it? Where did this shit come from? Was it created by Big Pharma for business?
Yes, it's the same. It's the same fucking thing. It's fucking OxyContin, and it's something that we didn't actually fucking need. We didn't actually need it. It's something they can make billions and trillions of. You know that the Adderall business is a big fucking business.
But this is look. Do you know that do you know that
Rondo? Do you know what the black market? Do you know what the black market is for Adderall?
We're the only country.
Rondo, do you know how many people I know who are prescribed Adderall, been prescribed for years, and they have to keep up with the dose, and they can't get it in time? They fucking freak out. Rondo, there's a black market for Adderall. Hold on, Rondo, I want to hear me, please. There's a black market for prescribed Adderall users that can't get enough Adderall. They've been on prescribed for years. They have to keep up in their dose to keep up with the fucking, okay? I know people, doctors, journalists, people who work for the government, Department of Interior, very high, powerful positions, hooked on fucking Adderall because 10, 15 years ago, they were having some problems sleeping. They were told to take a sleep study. They were told to take Adderall. And 15 years later, they're just taking more Adderall. Hold on. And these are people I know that ask me, hey, Dale, they have a psychiatrist. They ran out of Adderall because they're using it too fast. And they are asking me like a fucking crackhead, hey, Dale, do you know anybody who has Adderall? I'll buy it from them. My psychiatrist won't prescribe anymore until this date. They're fiending like shit, withdrawing. And motherfuckers Rondo will pay for a 30 milligram XR Adderall, one pill, $20-$30. It's a black market, just like there's a black market with OxyContin. Why motherfuckers are breaking into pharmacies to get OxyContin, they're also breaking in to get fucking Adderall. I don't know why Adderall isn't mentioned in the whole fucking thing with the big farm, the whole thing with OxyContin. Adderall, y'all motherfuckers are, I'm not stupid. For 20 years I've worked in nothing. I've seen this shit. I've seen powerful people deteriorate from being prescribed synthetic cocaine, and they didn't know it was cocaine. Adderall is
crazy.
It's cocaine. Journalists, regular people take it. If the psychiatrist said, hey, by the way, we're going to prescribe you, because you're having sleep problems, if they said, hey, we're going to prescribe you synthetic cocaine, would any rational person who's never done cocaine be like, oh, okay, yeah, sign me up?
Yeah, I hear you. But the point I was going to get to is that we are a country that actually allows pharma and ad companies to work together to market these drugs to people that, like you said, we don't need it, but it's so pushed onto us in such a
there's
way.
so much money. There's so much money behind it. Do you know how much pharmaceutical pushers make going from doctor's office to doctor's office saying, hey, sell these prescriptions. If you do, you'll get this from us. Boom, boom, boom. The motherfuckers
like an Avon lady for pills.
Avon, the Avon ladies with pills. These they're badass bitches that seduce bad. Rondo, do you hear me? They're badass bitches. Okay, that seduce. Like,
I know. I've seen them. I've seen them at work, Dale. I've been the kid. I've seen them at work, and that's why it's like with women, you can't just be cute and you gonna bag me because I see through that. I know that you just a honeypot. You just and then they seduce these. They sell sex in a way.
But
on the job,
everybody knows Rondo, in the doctor's office, Rondo, pharmacists, receptionists, doctors, the people do everybody. This is a known trade. Everybody knows that this is pushed by these Avon ladies. If these doctors don't get seduced by these Avon ladies, they say, get the fuck out of here. I'm not, because here's the thing. When doctors get motivated by money, they're no longer following the Hippocratic oath they take to not do harm to anybody because they're a doctor. The doctors are not motivated by money.
Their power. They have a powerful position.
The Avon ladies are almost like Satan. Yeah. Hey, if you buy these, if you actually give an account with this, your doctor's office is, how much do you make at your doctor's practice? Well, Rondo, these Avon ladies talk about money. Your doctor's practice, you make $200,000 a year. Well, if you start prescribing this, you could make $2 million a year. Some doctors, they fall for that seduction. I can make $2 million a year. I do need to put my kids through college. That would be nice. And you're saying this is safe? Oh, and 90 other % of doctors' offices also do this. So I'm not a bad doctor if I do this. The fuck you ain't. If you know the truth, you're a bad motherfucking doctor.
Not for real.
Because the bad doctors
trapping people like that.
Hold on, Rondo. The bad doctors who did this for years with OxyContin thought they could get away with this shit, and doctors left and right are going to jail and losing their licenses. Hey, pushers, doctors, stop this shit with Adderall.
Why do you think I never took them PRNs they tried to do?
When this shit catches up with you, you're going to lose your practice if you're making a profit off of people suffering and deteriorating when you're supposed to make sure they're well.
Exactly.
20 fucking years working as a counselor, Rondo, I don't make jack shit. There was a lot of clients at my program making more than me at their jobs, and I was happy for them.
Yeah.
There was, in 2002, there was a program director from Baltimore. I was at an event with Gap Plants. She really liked my swag. Didn't have still only a year experience, no degree. At the end of the event, she handed me a card. She's like, hey, Dale, I really like you. I like your energy. We need somebody like you in my group home. I'm like, man, Baltimore's kind of far, and thank you though for the consideration. But I'm loyal, and I'm happy where I'm at. She was like, she wrote this down on a piece of paper. In 2000, I was making $10.72 an hour, or 2001, 2002. I was making 2002. This is the story happened. It was a year into my agency. She wrote down $20 an hour. I'm like, what? She's like, no bullshit. It was a card for her HR. She's like, if you want my offer, I know it's a little bit of a drive for you, but you can start whenever you like. I'll start you at 20, and you'll be getting guaranteed raises. I'm like, why are you serious?
Didn't you say I can make more than you now if I went and joined the system right now?
In 2002, that offer for $20 an hour was more than I was making when I left in 2021.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They don't be getting paid shit. They pay y'all like they pay teachers, for real.
But Rondo, I turned that offer down. I turned that offer down because at the time I was working with 3 or 4 counselors that were bosses. I didn't want money.
Right.
I wanted to learn from the right people. That was the right move.
Right.
3 or 4 years later, the agency accidentally gave me a paycheck for $10,000. A lot of my friends are like, no, this is like only 2 years in the agency. It was a crazy story. I ain't gonna go into details, but a lot of my friends like, yo, they accidentally direct deposited you $10,000. Yo, fucking quit that job and get another job. Take that money and run. They might find out like years later, but you're gonna be gone. I'm like, I just got 10 bands out the blue. I should probably do that. Man, I can go to fucking Hawaii, I can get a new car. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I got 2-3 years experience on my belt now. Now I got a great resume. Now I can apply a job anywhere in social work. No matter I got a degree. So I'm like, okay, I can quit with a $10,000 bonus and be on top. And I was like, nah. My team that I started with 2-3 years ago was still there. Too loyal? Nope. And the experience I wanted to learn from them was much more valuable than money. So at $10,000, I went back to the payroll. I was like, hey man, y'all made a mistake. Y'all gotta take that shit back. They were like, what the fuck? Oh my God, how we do that? I'm like, I don't know. Y'all gotta fix it.
I've always been that type of dude though. Even when I've seen like old people drop their money, I give it right back to them.
No, like, look, I'm not noble.
I don't give it to them in hopes that they give me my money.
I'm not a noble dude. When I was a kid, I used to steal like shit. It's Tacoma Park. My reputation, I was in the sports cards. I was just reading my Tacoma Park middle school book. And it's funny shit, this one cat, I'm not gonna say his last name, his name is Brian. One of the funniest motherfuckers in Tacoma Park. You know, there's certain cats, Rondo, you're one of these cats. There's certain cats that like, you just don't try to fry because you're just your feelings hurt. You just don't try to, in the 90s in Tacoma Park, we used the term joning. So Brian is not somebody
we did too.
We DMV. We know.
Yeah, we said joning at that time.
Right, but you know what I'm saying. There was some cats in like school that were untouchable. If anybody thought they were slick and tried to join them, they would be walking home crying. Talking about right there. Yeah, that's NASCAR P. Okay, yeah. So couldn't nobody cut on him, huh?
Right. But
no, they tried.
They tried, but they learned.
They learned. They went home crying, huh? Everybody making fun of them. That's usually what happens.
They just know not to try that shit no more. Yeah.
Hey, Rondo, you're a comedian. I wouldn't try you. Comedians are the most powerful motherfuckers in the world. If you try a comedian, you're gonna walk home crying. Everybody's gonna be laughing.
Yeah, but I'm not. I got rusty with the joning too, though, because I lost. It took me a little more time. I need more time with you to kind of get you these days. But back then, I used to be able to. I could be around you for 2 seconds, and I already got like 7 jokes.
Hey, Rondo, I still remember some one-liners, man. I still remember some one-liners you said, man. It still cracked me the fuck up. Like, oh shit, man, I just get up over the smoke. They didn't know that was coming.
I like frying adults like that. I ain't want to fry no kids. I ain't want to join no kids. I want
Rondo, that's what you do. There's never kids. Rondo, you never want to hurt nobody's feelings. It was always adults that were smug. That like misjudge you. You were quiet. You gave them an opportunity to catch themselves,
right?
And then when they kept trying you,
exactly.
In a meeting, you would just cut them real quick, and then they would be like, it would be a social worker, it would be somebody, and the face would drop, and I'm trying my hardest not to laugh. I'm in the room,
and look, my whole thing is, I know you at work, like you're not supposed to get in.
I'm trying not to laugh, but in my mind, I'm like, damn, Rondo just cut her balls.
Oh, shit. You gotta just take that shit.
Rondo, there's times you talk that adult, rightfully so. And I had to leave the other room because you were gonna make me laugh, and I was gonna have my team back.
What the fuck you doing, man? You ain't tell me that.
Nah, Rondo, there was times, man. You cracked me the fuck up. I had to go in another room because I couldn't be unprofessional.
That's how I had to do it. Though. I had to get power and control of the room, bro. And like people like to talk to you like you stupid, bro. And I used to tell them kids like y'all gotta stop letting these people talk the whole time in these meetings. Then they making decisions about y'all life. Like y'all gotta speak up for yourself when y'all get in these meetings. And for me, if I establish power in that meeting from the beginning, or from a joke, or from a whatever, it's powerful because then they read everything to me. They're not going to try to finesse me. They're not going to try to run. They can't run shit by me without me.
Absolutely,
they know that.
Man, you're hitting on a good vein right now for me. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you're hitting.
I want to connect it back to the topic we were starting though.
Yeah, so connect back for what you're saying just right now, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's have a message right now, Ryan, stamp it. Hey, adults, why don't you stop assuming the kids you're talking to are stupider than you? Because a lot of times they're smarter, and you're really fucking stupid. Not you, Rondo. So you and me both have this problem where adults are talking to us and try to explain something to us, and we're just like looking at them, like shaking our head, and we're like, you are a fucking idiot. And we can't even disrespect them because we already know like what's going to happen. We ain't going to get no power from it. They're just going to keep trying to take our power, right? So I like to go back.
World for now.
I'd like to segue back to when I was 6 years old.
Holding on as long as you can.
My first psychological assessment when I was 6 years old, I was when I first started going to school, I was very socially dysfunctional and nobody could be around me for long 2 minutes. I told you this story. I was a dark child. I was an extrovert. I was very outgoing, but I didn't know how to socialize. I was very abrasive. And also I have a fucked up amygdala. So I didn't show fear in a lot of situations, which kind of scared children and adults. I had a tendency, because I have a high IQ, I had a tendency to talk to adults like adults. I had to take speech therapy classes because I have 2 deaf parents. So that's why I had a psychological test, because I couldn't speak very well. There was a lot of words I couldn't say. TH words, S words. I couldn't really talk very well, but nobody knew I could read very well. When I first started reading,
even now, you told me when I play you songs, sometimes it's too hard to pay attention to lyrics and the beat at the same time. You kind of can only hear one.
I took the reading like a fish out of water. In kindergarten, it was Dr. Seuss, the first book I read. The teacher taught me how to spell the first words, and then she didn't teach me shit else. Every story time for kindergarten, she allowed me to read the book, every children's book, so she could like do her thing and take a break. It was really her job to do the story time, but I enjoy reading so much. For kindergarten, I was the one reading the stories to the kids because I could read the words and enunciate it so well.
Right.
Yeah.
If I was so when it took a long time for me to speak, but when I learned to speak, I just started speaking.
Yeah.
And I was a dark child, so I wasn't afraid. Rondo, I don't know why. What the bus driver did to cause my anger is when I was 6 years old. I think this was what led to my psychological assessment and my IQ test, and to see what's going on with me. I was kicked off in first grade. I think it was first grade. I was kicked off the bus. The bus driver had a meeting with the principal and my parents to explain why I couldn't ride the bus anymore.
Right.
I overheard the conversation, and the bus driver was afraid of me.
That's crazy.
I'm 6 years old. So I guess I was disassociative. I had an anger issue. I don't know why. I don't know what the bus driver did to piss me off. But my anger stemmed from isolation. But the bus driver was a nice guy. I don't know what he said to piss me off. But one morning when I'm boarding the bus, he said something to me. I spit on his shoes, looked dead in his eyes, and said, "Man, fuck you."
Crazy.
Just like that. Now, the reason why I know I said just like that was because I overheard him trying to explain why he was afraid of me. He was like, "Yo, y'all not understanding. This child looked me in the fucking eyes, spit on my shoes, and said, 'Man, fuck you.' What child does that to a grown man? No, he's not riding the bus. No. No. This is the calm part. This is how the bus driver was talking in the meeting. And I'm like 2 weeks old. They don't think I can hear what they're talking about. I'm like, I'm right. It's funny, but like I'm thinking to myself, I don't remember doing that. Like, damn.
Right.
That's crazy.
So I had a psychological assessment. They took me to some psychological center, and I knew that there was testing me, and I didn't want to be tested. So I was being defiant. I'm playing in the room. The therapist is trying to talk to me. I'm like, I'm engaging with them, but I'm just not giving them what they want. I'm just pretending to be a normalized child, playing with the toys, not really angry, upset.
Yep, I did the same shit at first until I realized my mom was
I'm like,
taking me
there. I know y'all motherfuckers are trying to assess me. I ain't stupid. So I meet with a team of therapists, play therapists are trying to get me to open up. I'm like, so hey, Dale, how's things going in school? I'm like, things are going great. Oh yeah, so you have any problems with getting along kids? And I lie like shit. I'm like, no problems. But everything's going great. So like, are you sure, Dale? You don't want to tell me any problems you're having? I'm like, I'm doing great. You want me to tell me any problems you're having? How you doing in life? That's how I was talking to
right.
So I'm doing great. I'm doing great in life. How about you? Are you doing good in your life? So the therapists were getting very frustrated with me. Then
that's me like shit.
So then they did an IQ test. I didn't know it was an IQ test, but the motherfucker was slick. The assessor was slick. He finessed me. Now, because I had IQ,
those IQ tests be fun for niggas like us, bro. I didn't realize it was an IQ test.
They're fun. They're challenging and they're paradoxical and they're stressful for people doing it.
Interesting.
But if you
it would give you a list of numbers and say all these numbers backwards.
My favorite subject was science. At 6 years old, I started reading and getting into quantum physics and quantum mechanics. My father knew. I read all his popular science and popular mechanics when I started reading. My father knew I was into science because he caught me reading his popular sciences. So I think my father tipped the hat to the assessor, like, hey, I think my father was one who told him how to finesse me. My father knew that almost like in a Marty McFly way. If you challenge me, I'm not gonna back down. So
From
it
a
says like
challenge,
challenge
yeah,
me.
right, yeah.
He challenged me and
He's
he
always
finessed
ready
me.
for that.
So there's all these toys in front of me, these tests, and one, and I'm trying to play cool, Ronnie. I'm like, oh my God, that looks so fucking cool. I want to solve that puzzle. So I'm trying to play cool,
Right.
like I don't want to do it. And he's like, oh, Dale, so hey, you think you can solve these puzzles? And I'm just biting my tongue, like, motherfucker, because I know how to solve these puzzles. I'm like, maybe I can solve them, but I'm good. I'm not really interested. Why don't you solve the puzzles? I'm like pushing it back to him. And he's like, well, yeah, that's okay, Dale. I didn't think you were smart enough to do it anyway. And he got me mad. Like, what? Man, fuck you. So I picked the first one. Boom. Oh, this is hard. Bam. Do this to the table. Next one. Bam. Put this peg here. Put this there. I'm done. What about this? I did this fucking test like lightning fast. Some of all these puzzles, like, I don't know if I got everyone right. But I'm looking dead in his eyes. I'm doing like, man, fuck you. I can't do this. This is supposed to be, I'm talking shit like, this is supposed to be difficult. This is supposed to go here. Like, I'm talking shit then when I'm doing it.
Crazy.
I didn't know it was an IQ test. I think it was like 6. I didn't know it was an IQ test. Yeah. I just thought it was some kind of like personality test. I thought it was like a personality test.
And you knew a bunch of adults was testing you again, so it was like a challenge.
I thought, yeah, you know what? The dude just pissed me off, and my dad knows. My dad knows if you challenge my intellect, I'm gonna back it up. Like, I had a little arrogance of that nature. If you have an IQ, so we challenge your intellect. It's a good way to get them to. If you challenge me that I can't build or invent something, I'm gonna build it better than the person before me. Don't challenge me to do that.
Yeah, they get a lot of they trap a lot of people that way these days.
So here's the thing: you're not supposed to know your IQ. It's not healthy for your development.
Right.
So
that's why I was scared to get tested.
Well, it's okay if you got tested. The Rondo, if you had a cookie cutter psychiatrist who thought they were slick and thought you were a room or two over and thought you couldn't hear them and understand what the fuck they're saying. That's what happened to me. 2 rooms over in the playroom, these dumbasses had the door cracked and they was probably 100 feet away. They didn't think I could hear them and understand exactly what the fuck they're saying. And this is what I heard the psychiatrist exactly say. I'm not going to say the number because I don't want to be judged. Listen, my sister has a very high IQ too. She had a psychologist too. Listen, both your children, they're different. I could hear my parents like react. Oh no, they were freaking out. Like they're like, they're different. My friends were like freaking out, like, oh no, they're freaking out thinking like we're fucking crazy.
Right.
The sister's like, no, listen, it's not a bad thing. Your children are what's called gifted and talented. In the 80s, that's what they called children that IQ above a certain threshold. They're like, we don't know how high their IQ could be, but this is their IQ number now. So I heard what my IQ number was. They were stating what that means. We don't know what it means now because he's young. Their brains are still developing. We don't know what their brains will develop into, but more than likely, they're going to be on a spectrum. I believe that's what he said.
Spectrum of what, though?
More than likely, I think my father was autistic, so more than likely autism. Autism spectrum.
You heard that, right? And what did that? What effect did that have on you?
Let's talk about, like, are you born smart or can your IQ be developed?
What you think, NASCAR?
I think everybody was born smart, quote unquote smart. Well, everybody born with common sense, so the things that you was doing was common sense to you.
Yeah. And it's kind of going with your gut. You was trusting your intuition a lot more.
You was trusting your instincts and your intuition. Everybody's born with that.
And so I'm gonna tell you guys, everybody, a quick story about my dad. I'm not gonna tell you his life story, but my dad was born in 1942. He was my dad was a rare case because he's deaf, but he wasn't born deaf.
Oh yeah, you know about Gallaudet College, right, Nessa?
Yeah,
that's where his parents graduated from.
So let's talk about how the deaf evolution has evolved of society, about how they treated the deaf culture.
You want me to stop your
Let's
video?
go back to the turn of the century, 1900s, 1920s, and 30s. Majority of schools for children in the title of the school were called School for the Deaf and Dumb. Dumb was in the title of your school. You were automatically assumed, if you're born deaf, you're automatically going to be delayed, retarded, dumb. And it was assumed you would never be able to learn above a 3rd grade curriculum. So they stopped teaching you any like English writing skills above 3rd grade because they assumed you were too dumb to comprehend anything past that just because you're deaf. My father was
That's
born.
stupid.
My father was born out of that culture. The status quo of the time, the Board of Education. If you go to Boyd's, Maryland, it's a old farm plus in Germantown. I had a female client that volunteered a horse therapy farm out there. Anybody in Boyd's in Germantown, you've seen this sign. Anybody who's driven by Walt Whitman High School, any public high school in Maryland.
But say I used to go to Walt Whitman, so.
but if you see a sign announcing the schools nearby, a state school sign is always a brown sign, wooden sign with white paint. In Boyd's, I don't know if there's some bigoted motherfuckers out there, but the Boyd's School for Deaf and Dumb is still hanging in Boyd's, Maryland. It's
That's
the
crazy.
brown and white. Now, this is a symbol. This is a very powerful symbol, everybody. I want everybody to hear this. At the time, every school thought you're deaf and dumb. Even in Montgomery County, that sign is so old, Montgomery County thought if you were born, you were deaf and dumb. Boyd's School for the Deaf and Dumb. Now, please understand, I'm not angry about this. This is what the status quo with society thought at the time. Now, my father, but you guys still there?
Yeah.
We listening.
Okay, no, my screen changed. Just want to make sure. So my dad, he was born a crazy time right before he went to World War II. He wasn't supposed to be born because grandma was his mom was from a very strict Mormon family. That abortion was still kind of new at that time, but she became pregnant at 16 because her first time out of the enclave, protective enclave, she went to the state fair with her friends. Somebody snuck in some booze. She got drunk with her friends, and she met some tall, dark, handsome stranger from another state. This is before the internet. They were hanging out all day. She drank for the first time in her life, and she hooked up. She became pregnant, and she became tearful when she learned she was pregnant because she had a very strict family. She trusted no one, and she knew her parents were going to make her get an abortion. She knew she was not going to be able to keep my father. So what happened was the only man she trusted in her family was her uncle Arthur.
Hey, Arthur Anderson.
So Arthur was a skilled artisan carpenter, but a very poor one because this is coming out of the Depression. Even the most skilled craftsmen could not find work. She broke down in tears and told him. Now, he told her, don't be sad because it's really crazy, but nobody knew what the Pentagon was at the time because it was top secret. But this is what he told her. This is crazy. I just got a job offer. I've been looking for a job for a long time. There's a building outside DC. They're calling it the Pentagon. And I just got hired. One second, water. So he got hired. He was an artisan carpenter to do all the intricate crown molding for the Pentagon.
Wow.
It was a good job for maybe 2-year job. And he went from being poor and having that money. How much do you think Uncle Sam would pay us an artisan carpenter to build the Pentagon? He went from being poor.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Depression, he went from being poor to rich for 2 years. He said, Dorothy, nah, you don't have to get an abortion. I'm gonna lie to your parents. I'm gonna tell them you got an internship in DC, and if you wanna move forward with this, I will support you. I'll pay for your apartment, medical bills, everything. And she went with him. So my father was born in DC in secrecy, and he was born here. He was born a healthy child. So at the time, a lot of folks who are elderly, they're deaf now. A lot of them became deaf maybe later in life, early in childhood when they're developing. They might have got a sinus infection, and antibiotics weren't advanced at that time. That's how my father. he had a bad ear infection or sinus infection that got infected, and it like maybe burned out his eardrums.
Wow.
So they didn't have antibiotics to treat it. You know, so he became deaf, but he became what's known as hard of hearing. He could still hear somewhat with a hearing aid, but without a hearing aid, he's deaf. But because he was born 2 years of hearing, he had more of an ability to talk like a normal person. My father was a bridge for hearing and deaf when he was at the Washington State School for the Deaf. But I'm gonna skip to the chase of the IQ. My father had a very high IQ.
I was gonna say I wasn't trying to rush your story. I just wanted.
No, yeah, so I'm going to try to get to the meat of the matter and try to get a little faster, but keep the same calm pace. But 2 years old, he became deaf, and my grandma was devastated because she assumed he's automatically going to be dumb, because everybody in the world knew that if you were deaf, you were dumb. So when my father became hard of hearing and deaf, she was inconsolable. So Arthur, the carpenter, I still have his tools. He has like a really cool, weird fucking tools. And some of them are intricate and ornate and really difficult to figure out. So one day, he would notice that my my dad was, I guess he was babysitting him, and he just noticed something. When my mom came home, his mom came home from work, he sat down and said, "Hey, listen, Dorothy, I don't think David's dumb." And she was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He was like, "Well, let me break it down for you. I work with a lot of carpenters that are my assistants. You know, these knucklehead idiots, I've been trying to train for weeks how to use my tools. David already knows how to use it."
Facts. That would make sense.
That's you.
That's the thing. That would make more sense because
my dad at 2 and 3 understood how to use his tools. Arthur did not believe he was dumb. He knew he was smart, and Arthur developed his IQ. My father was a math prodigy. Geometry was his greatest gift. So he was the youngest, one of the youngest Gallaudet enrollees. He enrolled in Gallaudet at 16, when a lot of Gallaudet enrollees didn't enroll till well late in life because they were well delayed because they didn't have the same opportunities. My father was tutored by not just there was 3 other brothers. Arthur was his real father, but Arthur had 3 other brothers. They were also working to build the Pentagon. One was a master electrician, one was a mason, and one was the HVAC electrician. One was a mason, and the other one was I forgot the 4 phases. Plumbing. One was a plumber. One was a plumber. I don't know if all of them were working on the Pentagon. I know what Arthur was, but there were times in my life my father was around all of these brothers. I don't know if they influenced them, but my father never went to school to become an electrician or a mechanic or an engineer. He majored in Gallaudet. I can't remember what he majored in. Something unrelated to what he did for his career, but you know, he had so many visions and passions of what he wanted to be, but he ended up, as soon as he graduated, he got a job with NOAA as an aerial cartographer.
Explain NOAA. That NASA?
So NOAA's kind of affiliated with NASA. NOAA's, you know, like how we know how we can predict the weather. That's all NOAA, the National National Oceanographic and Aeronautics Administration or something like that.
Let me look at that.
So the Doppler radar is controlled by, the Doppler radar is a satellite that can see weather patterns and systems and can track tornadoes, hurricanes. So NOAA is really the organization that really runs everything weather related. But not to go off on a tangent, NOAA, a big part of what they do is they make maps for, they have different divisions, but the maps, my father was a map maker. A cartographer is a map maker. He was an aerial cartographer. He was a very niche map maker. He made maps of the air and space, not of land. So he made maps primarily for NASA and FAA and Coast Guard.
National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Yeah, but the maps he made were aerial maps. So primarily they were for NASA and FAA. He had some weird, crazy fucking compasses. My dad had a Noah. He was one of the only cartographers that had a huge architect. It was like a milky white glass table. It was like, when I was a kid, it was the dopest thing you ever seen in your life. If he had a map, a blueprint of space, it was just a dark piece of like film or paper. It didn't look like nothing. And if he's like away from his desk, got to play with his table, you hit the light switch and bam, you see fucking a map of space, stars just pop up. And you're like, you're in space. It was just fucking amazing. But
so he mapped space from Earth?
I don't know how I don't know how he did the job, but he has these compasses that are very intricate and ornate that one time I was playing with his compasses. When we got home, he whipped my ass. My dad was a nice guy, but when I did something wrong, he would spank me. But my dad also knew how to fuck with my conscience, because I did have a very strong conscience. I did. I'm kind of a pacifist. I'm kind of a Buddhist. I don't like to harm life. My father knows that. So in order for me to understand, never to touch his fucking tools, he he traumatized me because he made. So he's making maps like in the 70s. Radar technology is very was kind of reliant on some of these maps. So I don't know if my dad was joking just to scare me, but some of his compasses that I used to love playing with, he's like, Dale, listen, if this gets a little bit out of alignment, just by a thousandth of a micron, you talk like a fucking astrophysicist. If you fuck this up by a thousandth of a micron, all right, Dale, he did sign language with me. So he makes two like peace signs, one hand's down like by your chest, one hand's above his head. Now flip your hands horizontal, not vertical. Yeah, like that, but make them, yeah, there you go. My dad's like, hey, Dale, there you go. So, hey, Dale, you see this? There's one plane going 20,000 feet, and there's one plane going 30,000 feet. And now put your arms wider apart, like all the way apart. No, like stretch them out. Yeah, out there. So, Dale, 20,000, 30,000 feet. They're supposed to pass each other. If you fuck up one of my compasses, instead of passing, yeah, that's what he did. Yeah, Dale, and when they hit in midair, whose fault is it going to be? Is it going to be mine or yours?
Wow.
Because you fucked up my compass.
That's
I was like, he was like, hey, I was like, my fault. He's like, yeah, Dale, how many people fly on planes? I was like, I don't know, 100. Yeah, Dale, do the math. So you gonna feel good if you kill 400 people? Because that's gonna be on you.
Hey,
damn, that's pathetic.
But Ronnie, he didn't say it in a mean way. He was saying it in a nice way.
Real.
He's letting me know the reality. These are very sensitive, calibrated instruments. Let me not talk so loud. I don't want to wake my roommate. So
I just want you to kind of get back to.
Oh, so IQ. But hold on. So my father was supposed to be born dumb, but the school system didn't offer him above a third grade curriculum.
Right.
It was his uncle that was like, nah, I'm going to advance your math because you are really smart at math. They're not going to teach you math. Yeah, I'll teach you. So my father was a geometry fucking prodigy. He was really good at a lot of math, but my father could carpentry. When I helped him with carpentry projects around the house, this dude would look when I was a kid. He's like, Dale, write these numbers down. I'm like, what are you doing? Before he even got the angles and the compasses out to like actually measure before he cut something, he would just look at a corner in the house, be like just concentrating. All right, Dale, write this down.
So mental health and IQ, what we doing?
What's that? Oh, okay. So you get back to IQ. So an IQ test. Do you know what an IQ test actually is and what it measures?
Explain. I think I know.
So, okay. So
I think it measures. A portion of that is your problem solving, and
it's also about speed.
You're able to solve the problem. It's about how fast you're able to solve it, how you solve it.
I'm gonna give you a trick question.
Sometimes you even make a mistake before you learn the right way.
I'm gonna give you a trick question. Are you ready for it? Don't solve the problem, but just think about the question. If I ask you, can you do this fast? Can you multiply 686 times 37? And can you get that answer fast? If you can get that answer very fast and you're accurate, does that mean you have a high IQ? Yes or no?
No.
That's the right answer. Why? It could be, but why do you say no? That is the right answer.
Because why would how fast you can solve that problem matter? You solve the problem.
That's pretty much the right answer. NASCAR P, to my understanding, that's really linear thinking. A high IQ is complex abstract thinking.
Right.
So an IQ test is not how
the
fast you look by
parkour of thinking, of thought.
So an IQ test is we're in a room with different objects. Okay, there's a pen and a paper. The real IQ test is I want you to solve that problem, and I give you the pen to write, but all of a sudden the pen doesn't work. Hey, what can you use this room to write and solve this problem? The person with a high IQ will look at different objects random and be able to figure something out very fast.
They'll make a way out.
That will figure it out. People with low IQs will get stuck and be like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to draw?
People with high IQs,
that's crazy.
When you have a low IQ, you're looking, Ronnie, people are stuck looking for another pen or pencil. There's a lot of other pens in the room. It's a trick trap. All the pens don't work, right? Ronnie's a smart guy. Ronnie has a high IQ. All the people are scrambling. He's looking at random objects, and he looks at it's in the corner. It looks random. It looks like trash. It's a half of ketchup packet. It's ketchup packet. Okay, y'all scrambling on this pen. Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna take this ketchup packet. I'm just gonna use my fingers. People might look funny, like I'm hand painting. But hey, Dale, teacher, here's the answer. I wrote it down in fucking ketchup.
But you wanna know what I was thinking in my head? Like, if it was me, like my nose be bleeding real easy, so like I'd like make my nose bleed, or like I use my spit or some shit, like some weird shit.
Right. You know, like no judgment. That's look, you're using your resources available for what you have.
And that's what I said. I feel like
if it works,
creative people have high IQs because we are masters at figuring out stuff. Like we just, it takes us no time at all to process things.
There's a term of science that I'm fascinated with. I use it all the time, Rondo. You know that I love. One of my favorite challenges. A lot of people are intimidated or afraid to try, but I love the attempt to try to resolve a paradox.
Yeah, I love just toying with it in my head.
So the trap that I gave everybody that I'm the assessor. That was a trap I gave everybody. Hey, there's a pens on the table. There's a pen. Everybody needs to run, grab a pen, and write this problem as fast as you can. I'm not telling anybody.
This podcast really looks like the black elephant right now.
I'm not telling everybody what the real test is. I'm just telling everybody, look, there's objects in the room. Use any objects you want in this room. Okay. I was looking around the room. They see 100 pens on the table, paper. They see trash, random objects. Again, I'm tricking everybody. The people with low IQ don't think outside the box. Yeah. The person with a high IQ is going to realize right away that it's a trick. Everybody's at the same time. What the fuck? The person with high IQ is gonna realize everybody's trying to write, and everybody at the same time can't write. People with low IQs are like, oh, well, maybe this pen doesn't work, and aren't paying attention to other people's pen ain't working. The person with the high IQ is like, oh, none of these pens work. These idiots are gonna waste too much.
Certain people in school, bro, who always waiting around.
People with low IQs are stuck in a paradox. They don't see the paradox. They get stuck in it. Yeah. People with a high IQ can resolve the paradox and step outside of it. So people with high IQ will see right away, this is a loop, paradox. None of these pens work. You idiots will be here for 2 years trying to figure out why these pens don't work. I already know these pens don't work. I can see in the corner room this ketchup packet. I can write in ketchup.
But that's why I always get fired. I can't stay at jobs too long sometimes because I can't do that for long. I'm almost incapable of it, dog.
So that's why folks with high IQs, right, suffer because you're perceiving things that other folks ain't perceiving, and you trying to rationalize.
You gotta live with that all day, every day.
Facts.
It's something you can't argue with somebody if you're perceiving something. It's rational to you. It's like not rational to somebody else. You can't. You gotta let it go.
It's definitely like living in the future, and you like.
It's like being ahead of your time. The niggas is in the past, and it's just like, yo, it ain't really nothing you could do. It's just like, bro, they'll catch up when they catch up. I'm not trying to convince nobody.
So autism spectrum. I'm not autistic. I'm not autistic. Okay, my father might have been autistic because he could do some shit that I couldn't do. But autism spectrum. It's a spectrum. If my IQ was a little higher, maybe I would be autistic. Maybe I don't know. I'm not hoping for that. But back to autism. We all know somebody maybe who's somebody has a child autism, and some of these cats are like superheroes of what their brains can do. There's one client I work with. This was amazing.
Oh, can I go left for 1 second? Can I kind of be?
Can I share one quick story? I swear it's only a 10-second story.
You good?
There's one client who's autistic. He's a really nice kid, very IQ. If he read a book, I swear to God, any book, he knew exactly the word. If you said, all right, I'm gonna give you Stephen King, it's like 1,000 pages. If he read that book, he knows it verbatim. If you're like, hey, Frank, I'm just making a name, Frank, on page 862, on page 862.
Robot, man.
No, Ryan, I'm not joking. Hey, Frank, page 862, paragraph 3, how does it start? And he'll say the exact paragraph verbatim, and he'll keep reading the pages. You want me to stop? And he's not missing a fucking letter or word. 862, paragraph 3. 862, paragraph 3. And okay, Mr. Dale, are you ready? Oh, Mr. Arthur, are you ready? Here we go. Okay. So I got out of my vehicle. She was following me from afar. And he's saying these things verbatim and not missing not only a word, a letter. Like, so she got out of the car. It was a dark, late night. He's saying, like, if you let him read for 30 more minutes, he will keep reading 20 more pages verbatim and will not miss a fucking word. He could do this with any fucking book, even the Bible.
That's crazy.
I was just gonna go crazy and ask you a question. Is like, what you was just saying about how we suffer with high IQs and how we thinking on a different level. Do you think that's why I was attracted to older women and a lot of older women was attracted to me?
Well, I think older women attracted you is you had wisdom and maturity that older men don't have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The niggas they age don't even have that. And it's like,
right. So
that's why I never thought they was wrong to fuck with me.
I don't want you to be like,
I knew what I did. I was real. Yeah. Like,
don't feel like, I don't want you to feel narcissistic. Rondo, I love you. Don't feel narcissistic.
They call me a narcissist. People call me that.
Rondo,
people call me narcissistic. That I'm the most pathetic, selfless person.
I'm about to cast it over like you, but there have been many times women have thrown something at me that I don't want that attention. I don't know why.
It's not even just with women. I'm saying everybody wants to call me a narcissist when I have self-confidence, bro.
It's narcissism.
And I know how to get what I want.
Right,
so it makes it even worse when I'm good at it.
There's different types of narcissism. There's the type of narcissism that's insecure and hateful. Okay.
Exactly. Intentionally
now hold on.
Now they call you a narcissist.
Now I was narcissistic as a child, self-reflective. I was very passionate about self-growth. So I would self-reflect quite often. Self-reflecting is a type of narcissism, but
you have to do that. That's only appropriate, right?
Right. So here's a type of narcissism that's healthy, right? Let's say you start a new job, you want to do your best, and you're trying to focus on doing your best the whole day. When you get off of work, you're not worried about if you did a bad job, but you want to reflect on your day. Like,
right.
You know what? I was doing this time. I felt pretty good this time. Hey, maybe tomorrow I can get a head start in this area.
Just refining yourself, unhealthy. Becoming better every day.
Becoming better, improving. So self-reflection for growth is not a bad thing. That's a healthy type of narcissism. Now here's an unhealthy type of narcissism. Okay, vanity and insecurity. You got a nice hairstyle. Well, so a type of narcissism that's destructive. Somebody who's maybe already beautiful and is always half hour late for work and getting trouble about to get fired because they're still doing their hair when their hair is already fine.
That's crazy. That's not for real.
We know folks like that.
Type thing too. Right?
There are some folks that are on IG that can't put their phone down because they're getting too much love and light and they're about to walk off a cliff. That's destructive narcissism. Yo, if you walk into a city late night, that's not the time to be live streaming. That's time to be watching your surroundings. You get what I'm saying?
Remember when people was running into traffic, Doc, when they was looking at their phone? It was like a whole little epidemic.
Here's the most exactly, Rondo. Now we're getting into it. Here's the most toxic, unhealthy type of narcissism. The phenomenon of wanting to follow a trend and be fucking trendy.
Be trying to what I be saying all the time, bro. I hate trendy niggas, bro. Trendy motherfuckers annoy me, bro. I make fun of anybody that's
bring that
trendy.
shit over there near you.
Hey, NASCAR P.
You that type
If you was NASCAR P, if you was my friend in the '80s in Tacoma Park, you and me would be calling everybody else bangless, and you know exactly why. So I'm gonna tell y'all. I'll tell y'all a funny quick story. 1989, I think it was '89. There's a group called Crisscross that came out. Rondo, you remember Crisscross?
Crisscross.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to wear their clothes back.
Right.
NASCAR P. Oh man, this is a wise man, Rondo. This is a wise man. You know, at Highland View Elementary School was my elementary school. I think where I was at when that song came out.
You said NASCAR's a wise man?
He's a very wise man.
Oh, I know. That's why he on the show.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man.
We are no bullshit, because
it's the Holy Trinity right here. This is the Holy Trinity.
We would have been friends back in the '80s because we were the only ones.
Right here.
We would have been the only ones not doing this trend. Everybody try to make fun of Arthur, okay? Because when
didn't they try to bring that trend back too?
Rondo, I don't know if they did. Things would come back stop, but hear me out though. When this song came out, and I'm calling all y'all Bama's out in Tone Park, I really am, because at my school, they try to clown me, because the day after that song came out, half the school had the pants on backwards. The second day, every single fucking person in school, every person had the pants on backwards because they felt like they were getting made fun of, and they didn't.
Oh my God.
Arthur,
did the first day I saw it. Did any of y'all
let me finish the story. Let me finish the story, fellas. It's almost finished. The first day I saw this shit, I'm making fun of everybody, calling them Bamas. Y'all stupid as shit. I can't believe y'all doing that shit.
Right.
And okay, the second day, everybody's making fun of me because hold on. The second day, let me finish. It's a funny story. This is a true story. The second day, when everybody's doing it, everybody's trying to make fun of me, and I'm laughing at all of them. Hey, I don't care if all y'all think I'm the only one that's stupid. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, when this trend is over, I'm gonna be laughing at y'all, and everybody's like, "Bro, yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever. This is cool." And then 3 or 4 days later, nobody was doing it, and then a week later, everybody denied that they did it in the first place. And guess
I'm crying.
Guess who in Tacoma Park reminded everybody, hey, all y'all Bamas, remember last week y'all making fun of me for not, guess who can claim the only person that's not afraid to not follow a trend? This guy right here. Y'all motherfucking Bamas. For the rest of your lives, when we get older, hey, Rondo, hey, my friends, I know them. We now 40. If they try to find me, I get to pull up. Hey, you remember that time in school where you were a Bama and you turned your pants backwards to try to fit in? Yeah. So I got that. But right
have you ever really like dodged a bullet though? Like, have you ever like not followed the trend and then you find out?
I have never ever.
Some shit.
Rondo. I've never ever. Well, no, let me not say never ever. There's a couple trends in the '80s, the '90s were really fucking cool, but really terrible. I did at one point have a rat tail. That was terrible. It was a tiny face.
Did you ever sag? Was you a sagging type dude?
Nah, I wasn't. Definitely wasn't a sagging dude.
Did you sag, sag dude?
Yeah, I sagged when I was in school.
There's only two trends. There's only one trend I've always acknowledged. You can make fun of me for all you want. I always say, it's fucked up that dudes can't carry bags. You know what I'm saying? In the '80s, there was a tiny window. It was cool to wear a fanny pack. So I got a neon fanny pack. I was rocking that junk, but it was a very small window. No.
Niggas was wearing crop tops.
Now I hear you, NASCAR P, but those dudes were a little bit on the other side. I didn't rock the crop top.
I was rocking that. I seen Will Smith do that shit.
I was shopping at the skateboard
told you about Will Smith, man. Didn't I tell you about already?
Hey, let me tell you. In the '80s,
believe me about that.
Hey, in the '80s, in the DMV, Wheaton Plaza, the dopest store was Shredders. Okay, it was a skate shop at Wheaton Plaza. Everybody got their fucking in the '80s. Everybody got their clothes from Shredders. You know what I'm saying? So now Shredders, I don't think they had the crop tops. No, they had like Billabong. What were some of the brands they had there? Hurley. But you had like Powell, Peralta. This is the days of Tony Hawk. You know what I'm saying? Tony Hawk
was Volcom out.
Tony Hawk, Stacy Peralta. These were like gods. Like every fucking kid, male, female, wanted to like be a fucking skater. So that was the fashion. You know what I'm saying? So at skate shops, they started selling some dope ass fanny packs. I was like, yes, I get to rock a fucking fanny pack.
What's wrong with a fanny pack? I had a fanny pack when I was young.
Man,
that's because I was
Rondo,
nature king.
So when people started denigrating the gay culture, you start getting associated wearing a fanny pack as being gay. It was really fucked up thing.
I knew when to take that shit off though. Yeah, you're right. I knew
it was a fucked up. It was a fucked up thing. But Rondo, I didn't want to say any false signals. I do have respect and love for the LGBT culture because I work with a lot of clients in that culture. I am an ally, but you know, I know what my identity is, and you know, I don't necessarily like giving off any false messages.
You don't want to confuse nobody and mislead or lead nobody on.
That's not true, Rondo. Because I'll tell you some funny stories. I am ambiguous. When I worked as a counselor, no client has ever known my no client has ever known my age. No client has ever known my sexual orientation. A lot of female clients, I used to fuck with them because they want to flirt me for boundaries. Hold, pause. So they would try to like fish. You know what I'm saying? So, Mr. Dale, somebody told us that you're gay. Is that true? No, hold. Let me finish. I'm gonna fuck with him, right? You ready for it? You ready for it, Rondo? I'm gonna give them the answer. I'm gonna tell them the truth, but I'm not giving the answer they want. You ready for it? Oh, really? Somebody told you that I was gay, huh? Well, you know what? Hey, Samantha, I'm just making up a name. Samantha, that is absolutely true. And then she's like, I knew it. And then I'm like, then when she stops celebrating, I'll break it down. You know, Samantha, I'm a happy guy. You know, gay means happy. So yeah, I'm a very happy guy.
That's why everybody used to hit niggas with that shit. We used to do
that shit. So then Rondo, they would get mad. Like, no, that's not what I meant. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what do you mean? Yeah, I'm happy. What did you mean? And so I'm gonna keep psychologically fuck with them. I'm not giving the answer. I'm not being disrespectful, but I'm kind of telling them, I'm never gonna tell you, but
I also telling them how ignorant they are too.
I'm not telling
you crying.
Ronnie, I'm being funny because at the end of the day, I redirect back to them. When I'm at work, I'm here to serve your needs. So I'll go back to them. That's the appropriate answer. Oh, Samantha, I'm a very happy guy. But hey, by the way, you just came home from school. Do you need help with any of your classes? Or hey, do you need help with this? You asked if you don't have to do any studying, you did ask me to help you teach you how to make this recipe. You want to go in the kitchen, I can teach you that. Or do you want to keep cracking jokes about something? And she's like, oh, okay, all right.
Do you think that like, do you think that if you responded it straight up and just told them, what would have happened?
I would never mention that because it's not healthy. It's something that you don't talk about. It's not something you dance around. I don't dismiss clients' voices. I want to empower them.
But so what do you think when a woman that has your job tells me how handsome I am a lot of the time?
That is crossing a clear boundary. She should not be in her position. That's what I think. I've never told a male client.
But what if
I've never told a male client they're handsome.
Good connecting with the kids.
Rondo. So there's everybody who works in social work knows there's objective terms, there's subjective. How am I going to tell you, Rondo, I think you're on point? If you have a job interview, I'm not going to say, hey, Rondo, you look handsome. You're like, this motherfucker, like, is you send me some wrong signals? I use slang imbalance with you. Mr. Dale, what do you think about my outfit? Hey, yo,
I was a fucking player, though, Dale. I was smooth with them women, bro.
Ronnie, do you hear my example, though?
They was grown. That's the problem. Like, I don't know how to...
Rondo, do you hear what I'm saying, though? Female adults who say that they're crossing a fucking line, that's a red flag. I've never told
but the red flag never showed up because look, this is what I'm telling you.
I've never told my female clients that they're pretty.
No, peep this.
Subjective terms.
No, I know what you're saying. Let me say one thing. The issue is when somebody is good at their job, right? And they're good at connecting with these kids, and
it's a very hard line to walk. Listen,
the reputation is that they get through to the ones who nobody can get through to. But the problem comes when, like, I don't know if I know I was a kid, so I can't really be responsible, but this person knew I was going through real fucked up shit and wanted to help me. And through them helping me, I also pursued them. And I have, like, I got the power, bro. I got that fucking talk.
Let's talk about just natural traction can happen. You know what I'm saying? So there's something about, like, people who work with children or adults, young adults, should know that you're setting yourself up if you're spending too much time. So I have
like intimate. I'm talking about like one-on-one time too, like nobody around but me.
I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example of how I set limits for my clients and I set healthy relationships. Okay, so I would commonly drop off clients for home passes. Then folks might be having a cookout. Yeah, I'm gonna get a plate. I'm gonna engage with them, but I'm not doing too much. You know what I'm saying? If they got like a cousin there who's flirting me, I'm gonna be professional.
That's that's why side hugs are important.
But Rondo,
members who
my
was
client's family is
giving you
family
a front hug.
But Rondo, if I jump off a home pass and they have a cookout, hey, they'll get a plate. Rondo, I'm gonna get a plate. Rondo, I'm gonna get a plate. Now, if they say, hey, Mr. Dale, we're gonna be here kicking all night. You get 11, come back through. I'm gonna politely make an excuse of why I can't. Do you hear me? If it's a jumping ass barbecue, Rondo, I would come back through. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, I'm down for a fucking. We all playing spades. What's up, man? Yo, y'all got some cold beers? Shit, man, I can smell what y'all grilling from like down the block. Yeah, okay, sign me up. I would come back, but Rondo, there's a lot of times I was put in that position. Family members love me because I'm taking care of their nephew, cousin, or whatever. I'm making sure they get home safe. They're talking highly of me, like, hey, he's holding me down. He's one of the real ones there. So when I show up in family barbecues, Rondo, they embrace me. You know what I'm saying? So this was a hard line for me to walk, but it's a line you have to walk because it's about my client. I want them to have a healthy relationship with their family. I don't want to fuck anything up with that. You get what I'm saying? My job as a counselor
I hear you, bro, but I'm
to help
them
bond back with their family.
Trying to get you to see what I want.
Yeah, but hold on, let me not go on a tangent here, okay? So what I would tell them if they, Rondo, I'm cool with these folks. Hey, Dale, why don't you slide through after 11:30? I'm gonna say something polite, and it's a real excuse. Oh man, I would love to, but I already told my mom I'm gonna see her after work. That's not a lie.
I hear you.
So
we can get back. Rondo, we can get back to what the original.
It's the same excuse if you invite you over Thanksgiving, you already been to 8. Man, damn, I would love to, but I gotta see mom. That's not a lie.
Yeah, no, I hear you. You ain't got
so just say nah, I'm good.
Well, I would say if I say nah, I'm good, then it's
kind of like they're gonna keep trying, bro. Like I pursued her, like, and I fed on anything that she gave me, like any little leverage she gave me.
So what happened in that situation, Rondo? I don't think she intended to seduce you. I think y'all spent.
No, bro, she did at one point though, bro. She
maybe not in the beginning.
No, this is the problem. I'm telling you, I done fell in love with grown married women, bro. And I've been like, that's the problem, son.
Why is it a problem? Like boys don't have. Hold on, can I just say this? When I was in high school, man, I think it was my history teacher. I fantasized about her. She was married.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people.
If my history teacher Blair threw it at me, Rondo, we would have been doing some things.
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
What am I
talking about? People that are you talking about? Know my trauma, know my history. The reason
that's different. That's much different.
I've been basically abandoned by my own mom, and you know that it's probably why I'm clinging to you, and then like you okay with it in certain ways, but then like. The problem wasn't even like
I condone what she did.
Relationship for me. Listen, the crazy shit is that they get the nerve to fall in love with me or tell me they love me and we all in love, and then break my heart at a young age like that. And it's like it really messed my head up, bro. Like for a long time, like having an abortion with a woman you're not even supposed to be with.
Oh my gosh, that was terrible. I remember now.
Like, bro, it was too much.
You were. That's what I was so much you had to process.
Like, but then it's like these people working in the system. It's like she got fired for another reason, but the problem. This is what we missed to talk about on when we did this on 77. We missed the fact that if that you were saying that shouldn't be going on because they shouldn't. It always should be somebody else around. The reality is, I've been in facilities where the whole facility is toxic.
Rondo, you're absolutely correct. Yes, let's call it out. Let's call it out because
no, listen, the staff are having sex on the property. They having relationships amongst each other in front of the kids, and we know what's going on. We're not stupid.
Rondo, absolutely. This happens all the fucking time. I knew it happened,
like, bro. Like it was a time when kids is competing amongst each other to see who got the most basically sexual attention from a staff member. Like we all trying to figure out who she let touch more than the other one. Like, what's going on here, bro? This the shit that nobody want to talk about because they want to always demonize men. Like we all out here fucking thirsty and greedy when I was just a smooth talking kid and I can get into situations and nobody thinks nothing of it. And then I get judged for the rest of my life because I'm broken. I'm going through shit.
Can I say something real quick?
So, like that shit affects you for a long time.
I've been forced to work with toxic counselors, and you try to talk their rationalism, but they're doing wrong.
That's why the good ones leave, because it be a lot of toxic people in there.
Law enforcement and social work, very similarly so. It's you see some very sick things, you try to stop it, and you can't. It makes you sick. It makes you powerless. Can I just say this? The worst scenarios I've ever had was when I was working with another counselor. Some of the best moments I ever had when I was working at Gap was when I first started working. We were short staffed. And when I was working on Saturdays by myself with a dorm of 9 or 10 kids, DC, Baltimore, all over PG, some hard-nosed kids. And man, those are the best years of my life. Because there were no counselors.
I was going to say, that was
there were no counselors or fake and phony coming up. There was no fake phony counselors coming on my Saturdays throwing toxic energy in the environment. And man,
NASCAR went to sleep,
man, every Saturday we would go to the basketball courts, we'd be hooping. The kids that didn't want to hoop to maintain ratio, the weird white kids that want to do art, I would get them art supplies. I get spray paint cans, spray paint the graffiti court. I got permission from my program director, like, Miss Dale, you let me do that? Hell yeah, tag it up. Because we're gonna do construction.
You remember how you used to let me play? You remember how you used to let me play my music?
So that's how I manage on Saturdays by myself. I'm hooping full court with like 5 or 6. The other cats, somebody's in the corner doing art. I set up skateboard ramps for the skateboarding white kids that always fucked it up for everybody wanted to hoop. So the dynamic always worked. I had a little skateboard park, a little art park, where we're playing full court every Saturday. And it wasn't no fights, wasn't no beef. Man, we was just, man, everybody was happy getting along. It was a beautiful time.
But that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you remember, like, you used to let me play my music and shit like that. Like, it's like little stuff.
What was my only concern about your music, if you remember? I only had one concern. Rondo, man, I'm not trying to beat you up. It was when I knew you had pressed ass elderly white people underneath you, and you didn't realize I was warning you, Rondo. You are respectfully playing at a low volume. You don't realize your bass, dude. I can feel and hear your bass, man. And these pressed white people, man, they're good at.
Oh yeah, well, I didn't know that though.
But yeah, but
that's
Rondo,
the thing too.
Can I say this? You were learning as a producer. You were when I came in to do a check. You were in your closet. You soundproofed your closet. You weren't playing your music loud. It wasn't an excessive level for you to get a complaint.
But NASCAR, don't we talk about this? Like having to whisper when you record and all that. You don't get to really be a good artist sometimes. Full potential, because you can't even fucking be loud. Like, you can't even hear.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wasn't. Sometimes I got to a point where I didn't even know I was loud, bro, because I would have headphones on or something, and I wouldn't be able to hear what other people hear. I don't know how loud I actually am.
But it's fucking crazy to think about, though. You got kicked out of the fucking system for a noise complaint when you wasn't even being disrespectful.
You know, they didn't tell me that I got all these complaints. They just let them stack up, and nobody told me.
You were an artist. You were an artist practicing your craft. That's not something you should get punished for.
And they knew what they was doing, though. You know, they knew what they was doing. It wasn't even about what they kicked me out for. They kicked me out, like you said, because it was
Rondo,
a get down, a lay down thing. I was fighting the system too hard, bro.
You were already too much in the hole.
They had to shut me down, bro. And it's like, when I talk like that to people who don't know the story, they talk to me. They act like I'm schizophrenic or I'm crazy. Like I'm acting like it's a conspiracy.
Rondo, the system failed you. The system failed you when they made you a fucking criminal when they should have helped you. That was fucked up.
Yeah, and they made me choose
whether I wanted to so many other kids that I did doing what you did,
or be homeless.
Doing what you did to survive, ended up in foster care. You ended up not in foster care, and you should have been in foster care, and it was fucked up. Because if you were in foster care,
then when I get to foster care, you remember what happened, right?
Well, you're right. You did go to foster care, and something even fucking worse happened.
So then I almost died.
Fuck. So you got fucked by both systems. I forgot about that.
I got fucked by a lot of shit. I got fucked by the police system.
Rondo, you were a rare individual, and I'm not saying that, like, man, it's really fucked up. You got fucked by both. I don't know very many clients that got fucked by both systems.
Yeah, I got
like literally
all the systems.
Rondo,
all the fucking systems.
Rondo, systems are Rondo. I know you know what I know. Systems are weak. Systems are weak. Labels are weak.
And it's not like I reacted in a way where it's like I let them win in that way, but I did with sometimes I am aggressive or I get intense sometimes, and it's all from that trauma of like never trying to end up where I have no possible power over my life. Like these people, based on accusations, some bullshit accusations, can have you put away, bro, and you will have no say in nothing about your life.
Well, Ronald, let's be powerful because you're right. This happens all the time, but you know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about how we can make sure people know who they can talk to and who will back them up. Right. Like CASA workers, court-appointed special advocates. You know, these are roles that there's a lot of roles in social that are confusing, but these are motherfuckers that are your pit bulls.
Well, let me say this: I don't think I ever had a CASA worker, but you've been the only one who really had my back in the whole system for real. Everybody else that had my back, like I said, I was either fucking them and they was still gonna break my heart one day, so they was kind of just taking. Or
Ronnie, I'm not perfect. Rondo, I'm not perfect.
They didn't
you know what I'm saying?
Enough to really stick
Rondo, I'm not perfect, man. I'm fucked up in the system too. I try my best to. Rondo, I try my best to empower you. I try my best to always respect you. But I did betray your trust that day because a social worker made me, and I have to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I know that. You ain't got to keep acknowledging it.
Hey, man, I'm not beating myself up. I know
that's why I was telling you. I was like, the system being the system don't jade me. I don't because if it jaded me, then they would still win. That's the whole point. Like I don't even get jaded by when they use people against me because I know people get used for shit, and these people got a good heart, and it's like. I don't ever expect nobody else to sacrifice themselves for me because I can take care of myself. You know what I mean?
And your energy is powerful. And you know what? Being that you went through these situations, you know, I mentioned this before, man. Like, yo, you have a better opportunity to help people.
Bro, I'm a whistleblower, bro. I'm here. I'm blowing it up, bro.
Well,
tell NASCAR what you told me about somebody basically getting somebody killed or trying to frame a kid saying that they blew some shit up when they didn't want to blow nothing up. Like can you retell that story, please?
So you know, I can't go into the full details because this is a highly charged situation and I don't want anybody to get smoked, but we were talking about LCSWs. They have a power attorney. LCSWs, when they're the ones who need to keep us safe, if they get a report that somebody's going to imminent harm or threat to themselves or others, they have to do the emergency petition for hospitalization. They have to. It's their job. Now, they're
basically put you in the psych ward.
Now, remember we're talking about the blind side effect. The blind side effect is there's a lot of, I want to say, please don't think I'm being denigrating towards women or social workers in general. But unfortunately, there's a lot of Karens in social work. not just white ladies, but women who come from backgrounds.
Privileged.
Well, not jaded, not privileged, right? Not jaded.
Yeah.
If you can afford,
they're jaded in the sense where they only know their bubble. They don't see anything.
You know how much money you need to Rondo? You know how much money you need to become an LCSW? You need a lot of money. It's a lot of years of school you go to. You gotta go at least 8 years. There's a lot of courses you take, a lot of certifications. You have to have a lot of money to be an LCSW. It's very hard if you're poor. You come from nothing to become an LCSW. You got to have a lot of money, a lot of fortitude to go to college and school, or you have to have rich parents who just pay for everything, and you come from a bubbly background like Bethesda. If you grew up in Bethesda, and you're rich parents, and you're an LCSW, and now your lives are Rondo's in the hands of your life, and Rondo talks with slang. This LCSW I work with, okay, this is how disconnected she was from Ebonics and the culture. Rondo, this is how stupid this Karen was. She talked like this. Okay, I'm gonna role play here. If I walk up to her, I'm gonna just use the name Samantha. I use this alias all the time because I never worked with a client named Samantha or a Frank. So let's alias I use. Let's just say my supervisor's name was Samantha. If not Rondo, but let's say Rondo's roommate was really mad at my supervisor, the program director, and I was doing a check and I overheard outside the apartment. Man, fuck that shit. I'm about to go to the office and give Miss Samantha the business. Like he said it very aggressive though, like he wasn't playing. Okay, I'm being a little vanilla with that slang, but I might go to the program director and warn the program director, "Hey, Miss Samantha, I'm not sure what Frank is upset about, but I overheard during a check that he sounded a little upset and agitated, and he says he's gonna come over to the office and give you the business." This is how she would respond, very quick, casually, dead ass serious. Middle of my Karen voice. Oh wow, Arthur, really? He has a business proposal for me? Wow, okay, great. No, I'm not joking. and I'll have to explain.
No, you capping, bro. You joking?
No, Rondo, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'll have to explain Ebonics to this Karen. No, Samantha, you're not getting it. He's triggered about something. He doesn't have a business.
Like
he does not have a business. She's still confused. I still have to clarify. Oh wait, did he get it? Did he get the interview? Did he get the job? Did he get the job? Miss Samantha, you're not getting it. This is not a business meeting, okay? I would advise you to just not come out of your office for just 5 minutes while I talk to him downstairs, okay? I'm just gonna let him know you're not available. You're not catching my drift. Please, Miss Samantha, do not come out of your office, okay? Because he's gonna give you some smoke. If I say that, okay, she's gonna say, "Oh, is he having a bad day? He can smoke on the patio." No, Samantha, you're not getting it.
That's some Kevin Hart shit of
no, Rondo. These were everyday conversations I was having with this Karen, who was an LCSW.
So funny.
You think I don't know the difference between an alligator and an alligator?
No, yeah. What he said?
She said I didn't say alligator. I said litigator.
So she was afraid. She was afraid of the culture. She was afraid of anybody aggressing the culture, and she was afraid to respond to them.
She was a little delusional, basically.
A little delusional. So
yeah.
One client.
I've worked with a few of them, but not as severe as this.
I gotta be quiet because I can't go into details about this. This is a very high charge situation. But my one client, I'm not gonna say a name because I'm very close to this client. I hope he's doing good. He's from Baltimore City. Let's just think about Michael Ward's situation. He's a big cat, you know what I'm saying? But he's a really sweet guy, heart of gold, would never hurt nobody. He was having a bad day and just made a statement that he felt like blowing his neighbor's building up. He was not serious. Just like Rondo, you were not serious when you told me that one day what you said. I knew you weren't serious. I know you just wanted to. I knew what you wanted to do. You just wanted to
bro. I felt like
listen to music. You felt you were in a bad mood, and what you wanted to do, I knew you just made some hot tracks that you wanted to share with me. So I was trying to tell my supervisor, can I just ride on the block and listen to music with him because I think that's what he wants to do.
So the crazy thing is, bro, I had wrote a song about the situation while I was sitting there going through it after
it was cathartic. Rondo.
And then y'all took me to the fucking hot that Rondo. Shit.
That's one of my favorite. One of your favorite. One of your songs you did is one of my favorites. The one that has the fire sound effects at the end. Well, her role.
Yeah.
Right?
But one day, at one point we was winning.
At one point we was Rondo. Yo, that shit was.
I think it's called Her Song, actually.
Rondo, I know you had to burn that song. I know I might ask you to play it again, but man, talk about cathartic. Yeah. That was powerful. If anybody in the audience doesn't know what catharsis is, cathartic, I can explain that. Me and Rondo talk about that word all the time. Catharsis is a very healthy thing that we need to go through. It's a Shakespearean term. It's famous for Shakespeare. There's tragedies we go through. It doesn't have to be a good ending, but we have to have an ending. If we don't get the ending, we don't get our catharsis. A catharsis is a purge of emotions, a release of emotions. Sometimes we keep things pent in too long. What you did was powerful. You made that song, you burned it, you let it go to the universe, and then you didn't look back.
Right.
And you got your catharsis. That was
yeah. Everything kind of ended with that song, and the song is still. I still have the song to this day, so I can play it whenever it's out.
It was powerful. I remember you telling me, Ms. Dale, when I play the song, listen to the sound effect then. This is me burning this shit into the universe.
And I told you, I can never listen to that joint without playing the fire sound at the end because I have to go through that part.
The fire sound effect at the end, Ronnie, was what made it powerful. The crackling, the in and out, the volume. You could really visualize the ashes being burned and then going up in the sky.
Yeah, letting it go.
It's powerful. But anyway, back to the story. He was having a bad day. He said he wanted to blow his neighbor's building. For 5 or 6 hours, he'd been telling me in other ways he really needed to go to the hospital because he'd been off his medication. So at 6 o'clock, before this incident at midnight, I'm calling her and saying, listen, he's experiencing something. I need to take him to the hospital. She doesn't want me to take him to the hospital. So I take him to the hospital. She's got to do paperwork. She doesn't want to have to do. An emergency petition is a lot of paperwork. And the LCSWs are scared to pull that trigger because if you write an emergency petition and you're incorrect, your reputation's on the line. She never wanted to do an emergency petition because she was scared. So 6 p.m. he's decompensating. And 7 to 8 p.m., every hour there's a crazy incident that's popping off even crazier. He's not doing anything violent. just acting erratic. I'm not going to say what he's doing because there's somebody I want to protect his confidentiality. But he really just needed to go to the hospital because he was on medication. He really needed to go to the hospital. And he was too embarrassed to say that. So he's just trying to do something to go to the hospital. But he did 6 or 7 crazy fucking things that were kind of not bad to kind of like let me know, yo, I need to go to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? He didn't feel well. He wanted to go to the hospital. He was afraid to like let us know directly. Because if you were African American and you say, I'm experiencing A, B, and C, maybe
they try to lock you up most times.
Maybe Mr. Arthur will take you to the hospital. Maybe they'll just call the cops.
Go to jail, bro.
Maybe Mr. Arthur will take you to the hospital, or maybe they'll just call the cops. He's letting Mr. Arthur know because he knows Mr. Arthur will take him to the hospital. I'm not calling the fucking cops. You hear what I'm saying? So I call her the first time, 6 o'clock. I'm saying he seems to be experiencing something. Can you talk to him? Her response is, this is my Karen voice. Mr. Arthur, I'm in my yoga class. This is not an emergency. This can wait till tomorrow morning. Thank you. Click.
Whoa.
Really? This is an emergency? No, she's right. It's not an emergency. It's in social work. It's what we call a pre-crisis. So a pre-crisis.
Yeah, but you're kind of letting the emergency.
So here's a pre-crisis, Rondo. I'm disassociative. All of a sudden, I tell you and Casper, hey guys, and you guys believe me, man. All of a sudden,
but they setting them up to go to jail, basically, or get killed.
Hold on, no. Setting them up to get killed, not jail, killed. If I tell y'all on the podcast and y'all believe me, hey guys, I'm dead ass serious. I think I can fly. I'm gonna get the roof of my building. I'm gonna jump off. And y'all believe me? That's what we call a. Hold on, let me hear me out though. It's a silly scenario, but if y'all actually believe me, y'all might know my roommate and call it. Yo, can you just check on Dale, make sure he's okay? Because he's tripping right now, right? Okay. Y'all might not call the police, right? But if you actually believe me, you would believe I'm in some kind of hold on, guys, let me finish. You would believe you don't understand what I'm going through, but you would kind of think maybe he's in some kind of pre-crisis. Counselors, our job is to assess the pre-crisis. We don't just assess fucking crises. We don't wait till somebody's getting stabbed. Our clients who have good relationships
can I tell you something about
mental health issues, they tell the counselors. They want the counselors to keep them safe.
Can I tell you something about the system? My mom.
Can we finish the story real quick? You can. My mom. Finish the story.
My mom tried to get me help a lot as a kid, and they used to always tell her that I've never done anything.
Now, is this in DC, Rondo?
We needed help, and my mom used to say this all the time. She used to say,
"Is this in DC?
Do somebody got to be getting stabbed or killed for y'all to actually help him?" And they were kind of.
Ryan, this is a very important question. When did this incident happen? Where were you living? Was it DC or PG?
It was PG.
PG. You want to know how I know it's PG? Because let's talk about the PG Mobile Crisis Unit. They don't ever want to do their fucking job.
Nope.
No, Rondo, I'm going to be really fucking clear. Let's talk about the resources disparity. Montgomery County Mobile Crisis Unit, if you call them, they come every fucking time with an army right away. Every fucking time. Montgomery County, 240-777-8000. Go and call the Mobile Crisis Unit and say Karen's having a bad day. 5 minutes later, they're coming up with psychiatrists, psychologists, a whole team, and maybe a care package of some donuts and some coffee. Okay? PG, they argue with you and tell you it's not an emergency. They never come out. I don't think
I've never had them actually come out. Never.
So I'm gonna tell you here we go, guys. I hope everybody, this is gonna be aired on the podcast so we can blast PG Mobile Crisis Unit. Not just PG and Montgomery County. We're talking about disparity, one county over, how people are dying and other people are getting shit they don't even fucking need. Montgomery County, PG. Montgomery County, you got all the fucking money. Give that shit to PG. Help them out. Because the Mobile Crisis Unit,
don't do that, bro.
I'm gonna tell you, in 20 fucking years I'll be doing my job, they don't ever come out.
They got Monopoly and they got the nice neighborhoods over there.
Let me tone my energy down because I want to wake my roommate. I need to get my energy back down to neutral. So here's a real story. In the deaf culture, we don't give up on family. My mom's one of her best friends. She's African American. She's deaf. She lives in PG, District Heights. She lived there for a long time. She's got a nephew.
That's what we was at, NASCAR.
Ronnie, she's got a nephew that his biological parents are hearing.
Let me finish the story. I said that's what we was at.
So she's got a nephew that she's adopted because his biological mom and dad, they're doing great in life, have abandoned him because there's mental health issues that are kind of debilitating, but they just don't do anything for him. And she's deaf and she tries to do her best to take care of him. He's schizophrenic. He's a really great kid and the system fucked him up. But his situation is he's very highly intelligent and he can function very well without medication, but when he falls hard. So he's been in a cycle of falling hard, getting up, falling hard, getting up. And right now he's almost like catatonic. Okay, but I want to tell you, he's schizophrenic. And when he does scary things, not violent, he has a history. He's already diagnosed schizophrenic, a medical history, right? When he's done something, my mom lives in downtown Silver Spring. You hear me, Ronnie? Rondo. Now, my parents, they're not rich. After they graduated from Gallaudet in the 60s and 70s, would you believe every neighborhood in PG, Bethesda, not Bethesda, but downtown Silver Spring, the houses right by the DC line, downtown Silver Spring, cost just as much as houses by PG Plaza. Exact same price. My parents paid in 1971 for their house off of Dale Drive, a very expensive neighborhood. They paid $29,000 for that house in 1971.
Leave it like that.
Now, there are other deaf friends that graduated college at the same time that sell all throughout Maryland. Largo, District Heights, PG, they paid the same prices for their houses, about $29,000. But neither here nor there, you can't predict how real estate gentrification changes prices. You know what I'm saying?
All right, what's the point? What's the point?
The whole point of the story, I'm getting the meat of the point of the story, okay? It's all about the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rich people, mobile crisis in Montgomery County, and my mom's house in downtown Silver Spring. When he's experiencing some kind of episode, my mom, the VP, will contact the mobile crisis unit, and she's deaf, with a video interpreter, can let them know that her friend's nephew is experiencing something. Can you come assist? These motherfuckers will come like 10 minutes later with a whole army and try their best to help. They've come out to my mom's house, I don't know, 7 or 8 times to try to help him. They still come out. They still try to help. He's not that bad, but they come every time to try to help. Do you know they come to visit my mom, okay? When they visit my mom, they've had to call so many times and they come out. They live in PG. Do you know she's called the mobile crisis in PG maybe over 100 times? They may have come out once or twice. They don't do shit. And they literally tell her, stop calling us.
Basically.
And he is schizophrenic. And he's doing scary things that she doesn't know because she's deaf. And the PG mobile crisis unit tells her, stop calling us. This isn't serious. He's diagnosed schizophrenic. Yeah. If somebody's diagnosed schizophrenic and they've been hospitalized for this many times, if you're a mobile crisis unit, PG, that taxpayers pay you to do your fucking job, you can't refuse to come out to somebody diagnosed schizophrenic. If they haven't been diagnosed, you can play this stupid game all you want. But PG Mobile Crisis Unit doesn't ever want to do their fucking job, and nobody ever holds them accountable. Because poor people, PG can't sue them. Montgomery County, rich people will sue you just to make a fucking point. They don't care if they win or lose. Oh, you didn't come out?
Yeah.
Oh, Karens. We're talking about Karens. You didn't come out to see I'm having a bad day. Well, I'm going to take you to court for that. That's why Mobile Crisis in Montgomery County comes out every fucking time. And also taxpayer
what you gonna say, NASCAR?
Taxpayer dollars pays for your service.
So
the reason why schools, the quality are so poor in PG schools and mental health services is because it comes from tax dollars. There's a lot of corrupt shit in real estate and properties in PG that always repress property values.
That's why it's hard for me to trust black politicians in PG, because I be feeling like they just.
Rondo, here's a fucked up system. Money. Man, any parent that lives in PG that has a relative that lives in Montgomery County, you're not a bad parent if you want to use their address so they go to another school. You're not a bad parent if you have a son that's schizophrenic and you have to go visit your aunt in Montgomery County, because that's the only way you can get them the fucking help they need. Let's finesse the system. Anybody in PG that has children that have significant mental health issues, that they call the mobile crisis unit, they refuse to come out, all you got to do is just visit a fucking friend, or you know what, go shopping in Montgomery County and call the mobile crisis in Montgomery County, because when you're in Montgomery County, that's the jurisdiction you're in. When you call, they will come out and they will help you.
I know that's right.
So let's go ahead. Anybody in PG that has children and you're calling mobile crisis unit and they're not coming out, they're arguing with you and saying, what the fuck do I gotta do? Did somebody gotta stab him before you guys take him? Because I want to protect my child and you ain't doing shit. You don't gotta stress about that. PJ's never gonna come. Just go to Montgomery County, call 240-777-8000. I believe that's still the number. You can look it up, or just call 311. Call 311. Matter of fact, that's the easiest way. When you call 311, does everybody know how 311 works? There's a quick wisdom. 311, when you call from your cell phone, it'll connect you to the services based upon where your GPS is. So if you call 311, if you live in PG and you don't trust the mobile crisis unit that don't do shit, just go to Montgomery County, go to a shopping center, call 311 and say, I need the mobile crisis unit. They'll come to you right away because you're in Montgomery County. You don't even have to live in Montgomery County. Let's go ahead and take some Montgomery County resources that they don't even fucking need. They don't need that shit. We got something we need to fall back. We need to fall back. Let's give a little power to the people.
I want to check in with y'all. Y'all trying to keep going, or y'all want to?
Yeah, you know, I appreciate you checking in. I'm really, I'm stoked on this thread. Y'all can see I'm a little fired up and passionate about this topic.
No, I'm good. I just like I said, I don't want it to go longer than people comfortable.
Well, no. I mean, I appreciate you checking in because while I would like to continue, I do gotta wake up early for my work schedule tomorrow. But
y'all want to do pod picks right now and then just end it, or y'all want to get another topic in real quick, or what? Where we going?
I can't. Are we picking pod picks for next time? You talking about music, or are we playing songs? I can't play music right
now. No, we can't play music.
Yeah. Well, I told you my pod pick.
I ain't trying to get copyrighted. It's just we just say the titles. We just let people know what the songs are, and then I fucking.
Oh, I get what you're saying. So okay,
we did this last time. You picked Al Green and Ray Charles.
Okay. So let me see. Let me think. Let me go through my. If anyone wants to go first, I'm still thinking, but yeah, I got one.
Too. You got something, NASCAR?
I gotta think of that. Let me see.
We all gotta think.
Okay, so I'm old school. I'm a go-go fan. So let's talk about go-go a little bit. Let's talk about a band from the 80s and 90s that don't get talked of enough. One of the most legendary all-female go-go bands, Pleasure. I run this Pleasure all the time. Michelle Peterson, man, she was, man. They did so many classic. Yeah. You know, let me not go into details because this is a small world. Let me not, say, hey. Let me just say, Michelle Peterson is just somebody like as a child, like man, I idolized Pleasure. They had so many hits. When I brought this Pleasure, people like, man, I don't know them. Man, everybody knows Pleasure. Let's just talk. The Christmas season just passed, but every Christmas season, WPZ, WKYS, you better watch out. You better not cry. The go-go version, that song. Oh, wow. Santa Claus is coming to town. My singing's really bad. Yeah. Santa Claus is coming to town. Pleasure. It's old school. We already passed Christmas, but we gotta talk about some go-go legends that don't get talked about enough. We talk about Chuck. We talk about RE. We talk about Junk. We talk about Beck. We talk about Northeast Groovers. We talk about a lot of modern bands, but nobody really talks about Pleasure. They was doing it. Pleasure. They did lock it. I feel it. I love it. You know that song?
Oh yeah, I think I know that song.
If you young, I mean.
Yo, so hey, this my pod pick just in general. If anyone wants to go back to a great time in the 80s and 90s in DC where go-go was really, really, really soulful, check out Pleasure. You won't be disappointed.
All right, what's your second one?
Second one, I'm gonna just go for another genre. I'm all across the map. But you know what? Here we go. Oh, I got a good one. I'm really into old school music. There's a really man soulful. I don't want to sound stupid because I'm white. But he's probably well known. But a blues singer. Let me see. Where's my record? I think it's Elmore James. Let me get my record. 1 second. I can't talk out in the hallway because I'm gonna go with
Elmore James. That's him?
Hold on, let me go in my hallway. 1 second.
I'm gonna go with Billie Holiday, God Bless the Child, and then that's my shit right there. And then I'm gonna go with it's a Grizzly Bear album.
Okay, so I want to wake up my roommate. I just had to get so the Elmore James vinyl I have is actually just a greatest hits album. But man, Elmore James, check out this jam. This is one of my favorite So Elmore James, man, he played guitar. He was sick with it. So he had a really signature kind of style when he's playing guitar. But one of my favorite songs of his is "It Hurts Me Too." It's a really beautiful, soulful blues song.
Okay.
Elmore James, "It Hurts Me Too."
It Hurts Me Too.
Yes, by Elmore James, Elmore James.
All right, this is one of my favorite.
Oh, go ahead.
No, this is one of my favorite albums, and it's called "Horn of Plenty," HORN of Plenty, by Grizzly Bear, and it's bruh. I don't like some of these songs. I don't even know what these niggas saying, bro. It's just not. I don't even know how to explain the genre, but they do I think they do folk, indie rock type shit. I don't know how to, but
okay. That sounds
it's beautiful shit. And I told you, I don't know if you heard, but Billie Holiday, God Bless the Child. That's my shit.
Man, I love Billie. So hold
on. Mama Mayhem, Papa Mayhem. God bless the child that got his own. That shit hard.
I'm pretty campy when it comes to Billie. I just know some more classics like Billie's Blues. You can't go wrong with that.
Yo, she the GOAT, bro. Yeah. It's on you, NASCAR.
It's both songs. They Pierre Bourne songs. They called "Cool" and "Flexing."
Flexing?
Yeah.
And Cool.
What would you say before that?
Cool.
Cool and Flexing?
Yeah.
But the artist is Pierre Bourne.
And the artist is what? I'm sorry?
Pierre Bourne.
Bourne. So Bourne, like Jason Bourne or Bourne Identity.
Okay.
They so snippets, bro.
Okay. I like that. That's got a nice ring.
Yeah. No, he's hard. Dale, he's like a different version of us. Like me and NASCAR make our own beats. So he's like a different version of us. Like he was just born like a few years before. Type shit.
Oh, okay. Well, you got me intrigued. I'm never gonna. I got them written down. I'm gonna marinate on these. I'm gonna let y'all know what I think next time we get up. But
yeah, and I was gonna say when you see the description of the episode, you're gonna see the songs in the description, so you can, even if you forget what songs we pick, they're gonna be there, so we can even if y'all want to listen, y'all can listen to. You know.
Them songs are snippets, so it's not like the full song.
Yeah, we know. Look, it's still hard. That shit means enough to you. How about I make you? You want me to make you pick 2 songs? 2 real songs?
Yeah, I'll pick 2 real songs.
All right. Those are 2 snippets.
I'm picking whatever I'm about to put on shuffle, and then whatever pop up. Them is my 2 songs. So
I got another song too.
Bobby Brown, "Rock With You."
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
"Welcome to the Jungle," Jay-Z and Kanye.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do got one though. I'm Not a Gentleman, Geto Boys. That is my shit.
Nice.
Geto Boys.
I'm from the ghetto, ho. I'm not a motherfucking gentleman.
Okay.
People think my manners are minimal.
School.
People say my manners are minimal. I'm from the ghetto, ho. I'm not a motherfucking gentleman. That nigga hard, bro.
Man, you going
to I appreciate both of y'all.
Nah, you too, man.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man.
Nah, y'all too, man. It was this.
What we gonna do? We gotta link up eventually, in due time, and do this like we said, Dale by the fire.
But
and like we can get it. We can. We can plan a camping trip around it whenever our schedules kind of align up, and we can kind of just.
Well, when my schedule is busy, I'm building wish me luck on it. It's a new project, but I'm building a tiny home RV bus.
Right.
I don't know if NASCAR P, he's around my way, right?
I'm in Cali.
He in Cali
you
now.
in Cali. Oh, damn. Okay, I thought you was still on the East Coast. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Nah,
like,
we
yo,
can
we
always,
could,
like I
we
said,
could
that's
make
why
a
I
road
said
trip
we
on
can
that
always
jump.
plan something and come together to do it.
Cause I could come out there.
Yeah.
Well, right now is cold as hell, so I don't think anybody going nowhere right now.
I'm here.
Nah, this summer gonna
Told
be
to
lit.
sit out there.
But yeah, this summer, man, things should be getting a lot less, hopefully, a lot more open, a lot safer, and just in general. I don't say that like cheaply. I hope everybody's safe because it's just unsafe times in general for a lot of folks. But I'm hoping by this summer things will be a lot more clear in a lot of different areas. But yeah, that's Rondo, if you want to go out to Cali and visit NASCAR, man, I've never been to Cali, so I'd be open for that.
I'm down, bro. We can do it, bro. I just
Yeah,
I might have to make sure we do some type of pod or something. Just we can hang out and shit, but I wanted to make sure it's always worth it, you know.
Well, I'm dead ass serious. I wouldn't mind going to the beach. Like, this is a cold ass winter.
You know, Dale, me and him used to pod just walking down the street.
That's beautiful. That's organic.
And when you hear it, people love hearing it, and because they visualize everything that's going on. We're very descriptive about what we're seeing and what be happening. And California is such a city like with personality. There's so many people there that it's always something going on. So it was. So
you just always there's always an interaction.
Bro, we were running to people who wanted to pod with us. Like we even before we left VA, it was two girls that wanted to. Once we told them we was podding, they wanted to fucking have a conversation. So it's like shit like that. Like the most organic way I've ever heard a podcast actually be done. We did it, and we do that consistently. Like this whole conversation, it was improvisation.
Yeah, I feel you. I still gotta learn some ropes of podcasting. I'm still new to this, but I'll get it done.
That's why I appreciate y'all though, like for even doing some shit that y'all not used to doing, and like kind of trusting me. You know what I mean? That shit real.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, you know, we got faith in you. It's just the question is, do we have faith in ourselves? You know what you do it. That's called. Let me not lump you into my situation. Like I'm not really savvy with the certain technologies and whatnot. I'm sure that's a lot more savvy than I am.
I don't like this shit though. Like
we all three of us rather in-person conversations. That's why I'm big on if we are together, let's do something so that way we'll have something with us actually together.
You hit the nail on the head there. I'm not really a fan of Zoom, but I do enjoy the dialogue.
Not facts.
Yeah. And that's why I also love, like I said, listening to the audio. When I listen to it, it's important for sometimes video can dictate too much of my feelings and emotions about what I'm hearing. And when I don't have any of that, I kind of can form my own thoughts way easier while I'm listening to a pod or while I'm seeing some shit because I'm still seeing my life. You know what I mean? And sometimes when I'm watching the video, I'm too caught up in that person saying it that it takes away from the grandiose message. Like it could be bigger when it's only audio. That's why I love
that. It makes absolute sense. Audio. You want to be unfiltered. You're I don't know, like
and it's like it forces the listener to not to think when they listening because they have to listen. They have to trust what the words are coming up next. They can't dictate what's coming up next just by looking at me. They don't see nothing coming. You know.
So my brain is thinking that you're kind of defining that we say that like the majority 70% of language is nonverbal. We're really more so paying attention to micro expressions to be able to get like a vibe or a feeling or an idea.
It's so hard to do that over the phone.
Yep, exactly.
Via Zoom. But we're gonna do what we gotta do, man. We got visuals. We won't be on YouTube now. We live Rondo the Kiid, NASCAR P, Arthur Anderson. Yo, man, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, yo, this is episode 78, right? 76.
Yeah.
No, this 76. We the greatest, man. I appreciate y'all, dog. I think y'all.
I appreciate y'all
we'll
too,
be
man.
back.
Yes, sir. Yes, we will. I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna keep it moving now. And when the next day we're doing this? Oh, next
Well,
day
I
y'all
told you
doing
we
it?
record every Monday and every
Fridays?
Friday.
Friday, okay. I don't think I got any plans Friday, but just hit me up and let me know if y'all getting up.
All right.
We always get them.
We always
Very
It ain't
nice.
never
like a
stopping,
month.
man.
Well, listen, I need to catch up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Both of y'all have been on the pod before the schedule even was formed, so
Facts.
it's just
Like,
gonna
we
be
created the
perfect.
schedule together like shit.
Right, exactly. Based on the fact that we just wanted to be consistent and we wanted to like have freedom to like, you know what I mean?
Facts.
Yeah, man.
All right, man.
All right, man.
We're gonna check
All
in
right,
again,
fellas.
man.
Yeah, y'all be easy. Y'all be safe.
Oh, y'all too, man.
Any last words for the listeners?
Nah.
Viewers?
I'm too tired for any inspirational.
Yeah, I was about to say, I see y'all, man. I appreciate everybody else for listening. I thank y'all for watching. If y'all watching this part, it's real shit, real love. All right, yo.
And hopefully everybody joins us Friday. Peace and
Right.
peace.